Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. I think I was a beat early. I think I came in a little early on that one, buddy. Well, I was walking in. I didn't know when you started the song. Normally, I have a sense about me.
I could have said wait, but you were raring to go.
I was locked in. It's Libations Friday.
Extra content for the people, an extra 3 seconds of content. Go for it.
Little loosey-goosey edition of the program. Hope you're well. Thanks for tuning in. How about this cool weather walking in, everybody? All right. Yeah. Got to find something to be happy about. It's not Florida State football. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free always. Don't miss anything. But, hey, if you do, go back. Get caught up at your leisure. All 3 hours are going to be posted upon the conclusion of the show, as we're wont to do. People get impatient, Tom. You know all about that. But, man, my Twitter timeline gets lit up the second those show hours are not posted in a timely fashion. If it's not quick, like, people are like, hey, man. I'm like, God, it's 6:02. I got a tweet yesterday. I was like, man, it's been an hour. He's like, well, 1 hour's up. What are we doing? I like that people feel the demand there. That's good. It's good, but
it's wonderful. I would just always caution and suggest that if
you
it's
refresh your thingy.
Well, but if it's 4:30, you could always log on to the WTSM app and enjoy live content.
Live content, indeed. You can do that. Email us, jcs@979espnradio.com. Hello, YouTubers and Periscopers. Tom, how are the Lightning playing these days, buddy? I have not seen their last three games.
No, they're not playing because they're actually they are playing currently. They started at 2 o'clock this afternoon.
Why?
They're in Sweden. They went to play.
Oh, okay. So they haven't been playing.
Correct.
I thought that I just have been it was like a dereliction of duty. I had not been paying attention to the Lightning lately. I broke out the Lightning cap today because I'm starting to transition to where I'm watching a little bit more hockey. I'm going to anyhow. This was the intention. And then I'm like, am I overlooking I'm not seeing results.
Okay, so we're on the road for 80% of the schedule to start the season, and then our last game was a week ago, and it was against the Islanders. And then we traveled out to go play in Sweden for a couple of games as the NHL tries to expand its global footprint. But it makes more sense for hockey. It is, a European game.
Sure.
So they're playing Buffalo today, start at 2 o'clock. They play Buffalo again tomorrow. It's a little two-game set out there.
Yeah.
And they don't play again until next Thursday.
Good Christ.
Yeah, I know.
What is it with Tampa teams and the scheduling?
And that means that they're going to have stacked up games the rest of the year.
Of course
they got to play freaking catch-up.
Do other people have to go to Sweden?
Not this year.
So we're the only ones, us and Buffalo.
Correct.
That's ridiculous.
Next year, the Predators and somebody else, maybe the Bruins, are going to Prague.
I don't like it. I don't like it. We'll get to Florida State momentarily. The rookies of the Raiders helping move that club above 500. Kudos to John Gruden. The Raiders have already won more games this year than they did the entirety of last season. This is real progress. The offense has begun to do some things. They snapped a 4-game losing streak to the Chargers with that 26-24 win last night, moving to 5-4. They were 4-12 a year ago. And for the Chargers, it was their league-leading 6th loss by 7 or fewer points this year. Whew. Chargers will lose close games, buddy. The Raiders, with that win, according to FPI, if you care about those things, and I don't, but it is interesting now. People start to talk about the Raiders as a possible playoff team. They have a 33% chance, according to FPI. Their next 2 games are home against the Bengals and the Jets. So, yeah.
Wow.
That'll work.
7-4. Here
little
they come.
7-4, and my goodness gracious. Well, think about this. The NFL's been interesting, and it always is this way. The 49ers were 4-12 last year. They're currently 8-0. The Raiders were 4-12 last year. They're currently 5-4. The Packers, who fired their coach, were 6-9-1 last year. They're 7-2. We're seeing drastic turns. That's what does it for fans. They just believe, okay, maybe this is possible here.
Someday it will happen to us, buddy, and it will be glorious.
Oh, man.
I don't know that you'll be in radio or I'll be in radio at that time, but when it happens.
Will we have the wherewithal to know it's happening?
I will.
Okay.
I will.
I might not, yeah. 15 years. You'll have to tell me more than once at the table. Hey, Jeff, you know the Bucs are winning games this year. All right, Tom. Good to hear it. 2 minutes later. Are the Bucks still terrible, Tom? No, Jeff, the Bucks are winning games.
As I told you before I gave you your 4th serving of cranberry sauce, yes, Jeff.
They are good this year. Hey, so you know what I don't like seeing? My man, Angry Phillip Rivers, looking like he needs to retire yesterday. This is not good. I've seen him all year, and I've thought, this is not the Phillip Rivers I know and love. He threw an interception on each of the Chargers' first 2 drives Thursday, just the second time in his career that he's done that. He closed the game by going 0 for 7 with an interception on the final drive.
Yeah, it didn't look good.
No, it was a bad look, Phillip.
He always looked like an effort quarterback when he was going well, too. It wasn't pretty. It was very mechanical, herky-jerky.
Well, that's why I fell in love with him. It was hard for him. Everything looks so easy for Aaron Rodgers.
It was like watching Scherzer's 2 starts in the World Series.
Right,
you're
like, good.
Man.
God bless this guy. He's out there giving everything he's got.
Suffering. He sounds like Peyton in his final year.
Yeah.
The sheriff. Because
I'll ride with you, Sheriff. Come on.
His cadence in his final year wasn't Omaha anymore. He's like, and that's how he snapped the ball.
I remember laughing we did the whole bit about the offensive lineman. It's okay, Sheriff. I'm going to ride with you one more time. Let's do this. I can only throw it 7 yards. It's okay.
What, 20?
7 yards at a time, guys. Let's go. Rivers became the first quarterback to throw 3 interceptions against the Raiders since 2013 when Phillip Rivers did it. He's a gunslinger. That's a toughie, man. I don't like to see that. I really like the guy.
Is the talking point around sports media today that Phillip Rivers lost the game by himself?
Somewhat.
It should be.
Yeah,
it should be plastered everywhere. Not that the Raiders won. That Phillip Rivers lost the game by himself. I want standards, consistent ones here, folks.
Yeah, well, you need to do it, right? They don't do that. They don't usually do the thing where they come crashing down hard and note all these turnovers. He can't help himself.
It's 10-0. I mean, reminds me of Chris Ricks after the freshman season.
You got any hockey wagers for today? We a little Red Russians action? Anything you feeling strong about?
I can take a look.
You need to take a look. I'd like to get down with some Red Russians. The Islanders blew a 3-goal lead last night.
We didn't even talk about that. It now exists. The Red Russian has existed once, but we fired our coach over the weekend, so we didn't bring it up.
Yeah, there's video. You posted the video, I think.
I did. You made the first ever Red
Russian. Was it
Russian.
any good? Did I make a good Red Russian?
Good.
Yeah.
It was surprisingly good.
I don't believe that. I think you were in a good mood and it was fun, and so you were going to like whatever I gave you, but I don't think that could have been good. I gave you warm cola and vodka. Not even good vodka.
But it wasn't that warm.
Really?
So we could try again for Alabama State once we're done with our remote next week.
About that.
We're done with our remote next week.
That's true.
A Red Russian at 6:05.
You'll have a Red Russian. I'll pour it for you.
The Royal We.
Mm-hmm. So here we are for the weekend, and the Noles are traveling up to BC, and I just have not felt, and I get it. I mean, I'm not saying this is not, revealing anything that you don't already know. I just can't remember a time where I've been on the air where I was less interested in a football game and that the fan base was less interested in the football game. And we've had some pretty, down moments, but this just feels like, wake me up for next year. Tell me when the next coach is hired and let's go. I mean, I really don't sense at all. Now, Odell, we love. We love Odell Higgins. All Noles everywhere have an affinity for Odell Higgins for the right reasons. And so for that reason, I guess there is sort of a pang, right? Like, okay, I'll watch. It's eating at me. I got to see if he does okay because I'm rooting for him. But that's about it. That's all you got. I mean, what are you looking for? What are you looking for? You're intrigued to see how the offense plays. Willie's not here. Do things demonstrably change? Is there something different?
I'll tell you, there was a game earlier this season I didn't care about more than this one, and that was Clemson.
Oh, I cared to see just how bad it was going to be. I had a sense it was going to be awful.
No, I've got like the circle the wagons feel tomorrow. Like, come on, guys, keep fighting. Even if you go down, even if you don't get the split decision, just don't get knocked out. Don't lose by 30. Don't let this be like Jimbo's final year where everybody's just clearly giving up, taking naps on the bench, on the sidelines, whatever. Keep fighting. I know it's a nooner and cold, and there's 14 people there.
I mean,
and 12 of them are they're Adazio relatives, but keep fighting.
I had a guy tweet at us and asked if we hired Adazio, would we be happy?
As broadcasters, yes. As
fans?
Listen
to me. As broadcasters, we would absolutely love it. But as a vested interest? No, would that make you?
At that point, hire Odell. Honestly.
Wait a minute now. Let's. I mean,
no, because I would rather entrust Odell, somebody with ties to the university, to build a super staff. If Adazio's coming in here, I'm not thinking he's going to specialize in much of anything beyond maybe offensive line development, which is important, don't get me wrong. But Odell would specialize in defensive line development. I think Odell would be better in the living room than Steve Adazio would be, especially wearing the gear that he cares about so very much. I mean, if you're going to pitch me Adazio, and this is the off-the-wall kind of stuff that happens when we don't have any news, I would go under the assumption that you're giving him like a bank of money to just go get the best assistants you can.
I would too. I do think that, I've wanted him here as an offensive line coach for a very long time because I think he's a really good one. In that capacity, I'd love to welcome Steve Adazio here because I'd interview him every day. And we like him just as a person. We'd be like, hey, Steve, how are you? We'd be bringing him wine.
I can't speak specifically on the offense, so I can't talk about my boss.
All right, so let's do this. I plan to expound on this later in the show, but I just want to get it out there because a lot of people tweeted at me and emailed us today. No, Deion Sanders is not a candidate for the head coaching job at Florida State, and I'm really disappointed, frankly, in Deion for putting Florida State in this position. But secondly, this is not an entry-level position, everybody. This is not where you get your first job as a college football coach. That's not how this works. He's never coached college football a day in his life. He's never been a head coach. No, the answer is 100% no, not an option. It's comical. But I hate it for Florida State because it's out there on all the social media accounts, and it makes Florida State look as if they called him, which they most certainly did not. And that's the hard part, right? Now, I think in this day and age, it's impossible to conduct one of these searches without it being a little, odd because there's so many rumors that get posted all the time, and you can't run around responding to everything. You don't want to lend credence to rumors, and you certainly you don't dignify certain rumors with a response, right? But if you don't, then speculation runs rampant, and that's really frustrating, I think. But no, he's not a candidate, guys. Come on. You don't just get your first start as a head coach at Florida State. That's not what this is. And I today I saw where, and listen, it's not like the USA Today, last bastion of journalism or anything like that. It's candy. But, they're the ones, they're partly responsible along with others that write headlines or little subject headings off to the side of their websites where it says, report. Sanders is a candidate for FSU job. No, it's not a report. That's not a report. It didn't happen. No. Deion told his NFL Network co-workers that he was interested in the job and that he'd put his name in the hat. Oh, great. Well, I'll put my name in. Tom will put his name in. It's not an official.
Well, I'm serious, Jeff. I am a candidate. Florida State is considering.
I mean, what are you doing? It's not a report. He's not a candidate. Stop that. He's just interested in the job. Great, good. I'm sure hundreds of people are. That doesn't mean we're interested in them. Goodness gracious. So just
bite my tongue.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
I've got all the respect in the world for Deion Sanders, the football player.
Yeah. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hate it for FSU because now they get linked and makes it look like it's a clown show. I mean, if Deion Sanders is your head coaching candidate, it's a clown show. But of course he's not. So it's not. But people will talk about it in that way, and it's bad. It's frustrating.
His media persona is a clown show.
Florida State does play basketball this weekend. They'll do so against Florida on Sunday, looking to bounce back from a 2-point loss to Pitt. Florida is a top 10 ranked team. Didn't look great in their first game, but better than us. We'll see. I'm going to hold out hope that this is a competitive game into the second half. I don't think Florida's a juggernaut. I think Florida's good. But I don't think they're a dominant team the way that you're going to be looking at Louisville later in the year and Duke and Carolina and Kansas and teams like that. Michigan State, of course. But I do think it's a bit much early on. It's a bit much early on. Hated it from the beginning when we saw that schedule come out. Pitt, Florida, first two games. Really?
Would have loved it for last year's team, and I get that last year's team went up there and lost, but you know what I mean, to come out with a bang.
Yeah, didn't lose to Florida, that's for sure.
Right.
Yeah,
well, of course not. No. But that group for the first game of the year, they would have come out fighting, and they know exactly where to be, how to be in the system. You've got a really good rotation.
Yeah.
And you experiment with some pieces, but not with the core. the core here is debatable. I know the players, but their roles. No, but I mean, I'm talking about their roles and how fixed they are.
They're figuring that out.
What parts of the court. I mean, this is all very touch and go. And Leonard said that. Honestly, he said after exhibition game number 2 that he was concerned about where we were defensively. I thought that was the one good thing. I know Pitt missed a lot of shots and played horribly on offense on its own, but if you look at how active we were in the paint, how active we were trying to get in front of drivers, getting our hands in the passing lanes, affecting shots.
I was actually really impressed. Yeah,
the effort level is super high. This team's going to try hard, and I think it's going to expedite the process of growth, but this is a loaded Florida team, and what are we? I don't know yet.
And I don't think we'll know for 8 to 10 games. So, we did say be patient. What's hard is when you're in that mode, Tom, what happens is you lose some games and you begin to feel the weight of that. And then you remind yourself of how long the season is and how, hey, listen, if you lose 3 of your first 4 games, it's a bad look. You begin to feel the pressure. All of that is true, but it's nothing that a 4 or 5 game win streak can't help overcome. And we see that all the time from this group, right? They've been done it for years. Even in these great seasons where they're matching or surpassing win totals all time for Florida State records, they had stretches where they're not playing really well. And you kind of look at it and you get a little nervous, and all of a sudden they win a game maybe they're not supposed to win and then rattle off 4 straight and you're all right again. I don't know that this group is equipped to do that, which is why I would get more nervous in this situation. But I do think it's wise to heed the reminder that it's a long season. And when they get their pieces where they want them to be, if effort's there, if tenacity, defensive effort, all that is there, do you have enough offensive skill coupled with that to win enough games to get to the tournament? Well, that's the great debate. We'll find out. I think you do. I think that you'll see guys begin to emerge and be more consistent. What you didn't see in this game is, both Vassell and Walker on the floor at the same time for extended periods because they were on the bench with 2 fouls. Vassell, if he's out on the floor, is going to score. He's just a scorer. We know that, and he's not afraid. And so I think that as long as he can stay out of foul trouble, we're going to have a guy to go to as the shot clock is winding down. We're going to have a guy to go to create his own shot. Trent Forrest is a guy that can get to the rim. He had 19 points in a game in which he played poorly against Pitt. If he just cuts down on the in-the-lane turnovers that he had that first game, obviously that elevates the level of play for this team. MJ Walker, I'm hard on him. Tough Love Cameron takes shots at MJ Walker all the time. But I can't believe my man's going to give me nothing, literally nothing, from the field on a consistent basis. He made 2 free throws or whatever he did. He didn't do a damn thing from the field. Now, he also wasn't on the floor very much, so he too has to stay out of foul trouble. I love him on the defensive end when he's out there. Just give me a little something, MJ. Just a little something on the offensive end. A little something. Okay, we can get enough scoring there.
Yeah, I do think Dom would be very helpful, too, if he can play for us. I don't know. He was a game-time decision, and it was known about, 20, 30 minutes before tip that he would not be available for Pitt. I think that really helps with your big man rotation. Gets Osborne fewer minutes, and Osborne is a nice piece to the puzzle when you're talking about affecting shots and being a defensive stopper and somebody around the glass. Certainly, I don't think we can count on him for offensive input and offensive output this whole year. But then that also keeps Balsa to a limited role. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's some things here. And you've got a point guard in Raekwon Evans, who obviously has a torn hamstring. He's coming off of that injury. Once he gets back in there, then the rotation shrinks the minutes for Polite, or you can use him as a defensive stopper in certain situations. The rotation answers are coming, but they're trying to figure
how quickly can you get there? Yeah.
If everybody was healthy, they'd still be trying to figure out who needs to play where. So it's just there's a whole lot of questions. This is a really tough opportunity, but it is an opportunity, and maybe we do something with it.
I hope so. And then there's the matter of a certain football game that we are excited about, and that would be LSU traveling to Alabama. And just think how quickly things turn around. We'll come back and look at some numbers here, but everybody's asked the question. Yeah, they know that Joe Burrow's a nice player, probably going to go in the first 10 picks of the NFL draft. But the guy calling all the plays, his name's Joe Brady, and he's 30. 30 years old. Have you gone back and looked at that resume, how quickly this happened? It's for those that haven't, we'll do it next. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Right now, only at Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, where we're right on the corner and always right on the price. Visit us on the web at TallahasseeDCJ.com. Pricing on in-stock vehicles only, plus tax, tag, and dealer fee with approved credit. See dealer for details.
Not all law firms are equal, so here's why Fonville Lewis Mesher McConaughey was recently voted Tallahassee's best law firm. First, we only take real cases. If your car was barely bumped and you think you're going to get rich, we're not the firm for you. We limit our practice to serious cases with legitimate claims. Second, we only take cases involving real injuries. If you know you aren't hurt but think you can fool your way into a quick settlement, we're not the firm for you. We encourage our clients to heal up and get better, not sit on the couch and expect a windfall. Third, we don't want clients who are just in it for the money. If the very first thing you think of after getting hurt is calling pound something or other on your cell phone instead of calling 911, we're not the firm for you. Your health should always come first. And finally, we won't blow smoke about a big money outcome just to get your case. Other firms overpromise and underdeliver. Our only promise is that we'll work harder than anyone to get you the best result. Remember, the law firm you have representing you makes all the difference, so don't settle for less. Call Fonville Lewis Mesher McConaughey and let us put our reputation to work for you.
T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, TSparkConstruction.com.
Are you starting a new business or expanding your business? Looking for the right general contractor to assist you with a tenant space build-out? Look no further. From restaurant to retail, we have the experience to work with you. At T-Spark Enterprises, we are ready to be a part of your vision and build a space that exceeds your expectations. Whether you're looking for design build or build from your own design, give us a call today for a free consultation. As the owner of T-Spark Enterprises, I guarantee when it comes to your business space, we only provide picture-perfect results.
Call 850-766-1340. T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, TSparkConstruction.com.
License number CGC 1525336.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan. Everybody at Kraft realizes that there is a whole lot of construction happening here. So we got to thinking, let's offer our customers a little something for tolerating our work zone. And you're going to love what we came up with. Here it is. You ever see a movie where the guy or gal opens a case only to find neatly stacked and wrapped bundles of cash? Can you picture it? Good, because that's what we're going to give you. Yes, buy a new car at Kraft Nissan, you'll be handed $1,000 cash. Maxima, Murano, Armada, Pathfinder, Versa, yes, even Rogue and Altima. Buy a new car, get $1,000 for the holidays, or spend it however you want. Nissan calls it dealer cash. We like to think of it as your cash. No games, no gimmicks. You still get all the incentives like 0% interest on most models and up to $8,000 off. Other dealers finish the deal and hand you the keys. Kraft Nissan is going to hand you $1,000. If you've never held $1,000 in your hand, give it a try. It's a game changer. Buy before Christmas. And if your car doesn't have the Kraft tag on it, you paid too much. $1,000 too much.
A Kraft Brothers dealership.
The Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener. Big store pricing with local service. Online at ctf.nu.
January, LSU hired former New Orleans Saints offensive assistant Joe Brady to become the new passing game coordinator / wide receivers coach for the Tigers. The hire was thought to put an end to the Tigers' quote-unquote Stone Age era offense and bring a new offensive identity to a team that had severely lacked one in a number of years. The 30-year-old Brady was hired to his first job coaching an offensive position in his career. I mean, this just goes to show. It's unbelievable. So my man was a linebackers coach in 2013, 2014 for William and Mary. All right? 2015, he gets hired by Penn State as a graduate assistant. He's just a graduate assistant. He's there for 1 year. The New Orleans Saints hire him as an offensive assistant. In essence, he's watching a ton of film. And then from there, he gets picked up after 1 year by LSU. Now, this storyline is insane. I just keep thinking about how impressive he must have been in these meeting rooms. A story Alex Scarborough wrote for ESPN reads as follows. Joe Brady's name wasn't exactly buzzing around coaching circles this time just a year ago. He was part of the Saints offensive staff at large for 2 seasons, sitting in on meetings and breaking down film without coaching a single specific position. Before that, he was in a similar role as a graduate assistant at Penn State, living life in the shadows of the sport as an intern. This is crazy to me. We're talking about 3 years ago, he's a sports intern. This is insane. Now, apparently he impressed everybody that he ever worked with or for. And it was a small circle, and nobody nationally really even knew who he was, but the people in that small circle were very impressed with him.
Well, Sean Payton's in the small circle.
That helps. Geez. Yeah. So no one knew that a lot of the things the Saints did on Sundays with Taysom Hill, for example, trace back to this coach. In fact, he was the one, is the passing game coordinator, Joe Brady, or assistant, who came up with all the Taysom Hill stuff. All the, like, this is how we're going to use Taysom Hill / receiver, running back, quarterback. So it's pretty amazing. He was 28 years old at that time. One meeting changed all that, though. LSU invited the Saints coaches to campus to talk shop one day, bringing the anonymous coach front and center with a program desperate to transform their offensive identity and regain some footing as a national power. Though Saints offensive coordinator Pete Carmichael was the main draw for the get-together in Baton Rouge, Brady got his turn on the whiteboard in front of the entirety of the LSU staff, sharing his thoughts on the run-pass option that was spreading quickly throughout college football and bubbling up now in the NFL. Tigers offensive coordinator Steven Insminger perked up as he watched and listened carefully. He came away very impressed. Every question he had, Brady had an answer. LSU head coach Ed Orgeron wasn't present for the meeting, but he heard all about it. And a year later, when a position opened up on the offensive staff and the program was still looking to overhaul its Stone Age era offense, Brady's name bubbled back to the surface. Oregon made some calls, including one to Brady's former boss at William & Mary. They talked to Kevin Rogers, that was the boss there at William & Mary, and he said, "You'd be nuts not to hire this guy. He's a star." Brady was in Baton Rouge just hours later after the Saints season ended. He was the only candidate LSU ever interviewed. Hired within 3 days of the interview. I listened to him, said Orgeron, and I loved it. I loved his presentation. But I did some research on him with some people I know very well in the business, and they trusted him. They don't throw the word excellent around very easily, and they said repeatedly, he's excellent. I went with my gut in that moment. 9 months later, here we are. And that offense is one of the most explosive in football. And those stats that Burrow's putting up, and he probably wants to hug this guy forevermore, are, I mean, the stuff that Heisman's are built out of. And now the question becomes on Saturday, do you go into that environment where Alabama does not lose? Greenberg gets credit for this, but he brought it up. He said, you know, what's funny about, if you want to know how infrequently Alabama loses at home, just ask anybody that pays attention to college football what the losses are over the last 7 years. They can name them because there have been so precious few. You got that random game that Ole Miss beat them where you're like, what the hell happened there?
Yep.
You've got the Johnny Manziel game, and you got 9-6.
That Ole Miss game was in 2015. We were up in Boston for that.
And we were like, what in the world is going on here? Yeah, I mean it's rather remarkable. That story, there's a lot more to that story, by the way. I only scratched the surface of it because I thought the beginning, which set up how he arrived where he did and where he came from, was interesting. But it gets much more in detail about how he became this wonder kid, if you will, and how he got that job and what he's done with it. It's absolutely remarkable. But yeah, so Ole Miss beating them. You also have the Johnny Manziel game, and you have the 9-6 game. That was the LSU game.
Yeah, the Johnny Manziel game was that was just a weird year. They didn't have an answer for him.
No, they had no answer for him.
I think that probably was when Nick said, okay, you know what? Speaking of Stone Age offenses, ours isn't as Stone Age as LSU's, but I want more of that.
Well, yeah, I mean, it had to have pissed him off that, I mean, they did everything right, but the kid would just run around and buy time and torch him. Helped that he was throwing to Mike Evans, but yes, I mean...
Who has lived up to the hype, even if for some strange reason every once in a while he goes completely missing.
AWOL for entire games.
Also, he seemingly gets hurt on every play.
Well, I used to get concerned with that. I used to watch him slowly get up and grab the knee and do the thing, and then oh, no, we can't lose him. Oh, now when he does it, I go, he'll be back the next play.
Yeah, that's just who he is.
He's fine. By the way, just a note, I mean, we watched all those – basically what he's done is he's been able to blend the RPO and West Coast offenses. He brought these two formulas together and kind of made this offense at LSU. And now you have these athletes that LSU's always had being put in space. They're being put in an opportunity to succeed where they're set free. And, you know, I can only imagine that Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham Jr. are like, oh, Jesus, what could I have done in that?
Right.
I mean, You think they're watching that? You think that you know, I mean, those guys, when they're looking, when they watch LSU on Saturdays and they're like, well, there's Chase and Marshall and all kicking ass, they're like, I'm way better than that kid.
Well, he would be on the short list, right, then, for offensive coordinator jobs? I don't think that you could put him in a head coaching role, obviously, this soon. He'd have to go to a mid-tier. For all the growth and exponential growth as he's had, he can't run a program yet of significance.
No, he's 30. I mean, no.
But if he's only the passing game coordinator, right, wouldn't you think that a Power 5 program would be throwing $1 million, $1.5 million at him a year?
Yeah, he's about to get paid. There's no doubt. He's going to have a...
Forcing LSU's hand, of course, to match the offer.
Which, if they're smart, they will do.
Yeah.
I'd be looking over at my offensive coordinator going, I don't know how necessary.
Glad you brought me on board.
I just don't know how necessary it will be to retain certain people on this staff now that I got this kid. No, I mean, look, he's going to be a star, it looks like. And again, when you read that story, there are coaches all over the country who speak to his acumen, and they're like, oh, yeah, that's the one. He's got it. It's like Belichick, though. You know, he was 12 years old breaking down film and then for his father, who was a scout for Navy, and he's sitting there breaking down film. And then one day, his dad gets a job with Bill Walsh, and in comes Belichick, and he's got game film. He's 13 years old. He's telling Bill Walsh what they should do. And Bill's like, kid's not crazy. I kind of like his thoughts here. I mean, that happened. Imagine the 13-year-old. So what we're going to want to do here? They really struggle on the back. You're like, this is incredible.
Well, I can't imagine either for the kid. I mean, Belichick to be able to sit with Bill Walsh. I'm sure he's not starstruck, and that probably speaks to the greatness of it because he's been around coaches his whole life.
Right.
But for this guy, I think he would be starstruck and awestruck to be talking with Sean Payton for the first time, right? Because he's at William & Mary. So he didn't have that immediate bond in his teenage years where it didn't seem like a big deal. Mm-hmm. I'm sure when the Saints call and they say, all right, you need to prepare film for Coach Sean Payton. And then you get comfortable enough with him to say, here's what we need to do with Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
And he listens to you? Holy cow.
And it works?
That means you're looking at each other on the same level. You're not looking up at Sean. You guys are eye to eye talking ball.
Yeah, the moment that you get a call and they say you need to break down this film for Sean Payton, how nervous are you? Like, don't. Because that guy is one of the brightest guys in the game.
I would think you triple and quadruple check everything. You don't trust your instincts the first time through.
Yeah, you're not, if you got a girlfriend or whatever at that point, you're not going home that night. I'm not going to see you, babe. I'm going to be here a while.
You may break up. You may listen. This is 23 hours a week.
I mean, I'm going to sleep only when I have to, and then I'm going to get up and start back on this because I can't get this wrong.
Now, I may get paid, so hang in there.
If you like. If you like, hang in there. We're going to get rich. Yeah, it's crazy. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
I'm Michael D. Blank, attorney with the Law Office of Jose Fernandez in Tallahassee. At the Law Office of Jose Fernandez, there is never an upfront fee, and if we don't recover, then you don't pay anything. Our team is dedicated to handling all types of accident, injury, negligence, malpractice, and wrongful death cases. If you're unable to come to us, we can come to you day or night. Call us now, 855-HOSE-305, for your free consultation today. The Law Office of Jose Fernandez. We don't get paid until you do. Offices, Tallahassee, Miami. grfinjury.com. Go Noles.
Thursdays are Friday Eve, and that's a reason to celebrate. No matter what you're looking for, they've got you covered every Thursday down in College Town. Centrale offers 50% off select pizzas all day, every Thursday. Or you can stop by Township for Taco Thursday. $2 house tacos, $2. Madison Social offers the social agreement. You and a buddy can split one order of wings, 2 Madso burgers, 2 bourbons, 2 proof Madison Socials, all for just $40. See what they did there? And don't worry about parking. Plenty of spaces available in the parking deck or surrounding lots. Check out all the Thursday College Town deals right now on ThursdaysInCollegetown.com.
Your next haircut now has a shortcut. Introducing the Sport Clips Haircuts app. That's right, now the cut you want is just a tap away. Just download the app, check in at your neighborhood Sport Clips, and choose your Guy Smart stylist, and you're done. We'll text you when your stylist is almost ready. Then head to Sport Clips for a championship haircut experience. It's home field advantage for your hair. No appointment needed. Just download the Sport Clips app and check in. And don't forget a beard trim. Sport Clips. You choose the cut, we cut the weight.
GT Electric is Tallahassee's premier state-certified electrical contractor. Locally owned and operated for over 20 years, GT Electric offers a variety of electrical services for residential, commercial, and industrial fields, including upgrades, repairs, replacements, and installation. GT Electric also sells and services power generators for commercial buildings, homes, and construction job sites. Call them today at 421-9002. That's 421-9002. Or stop by gtelectricfl.com.
This hour of the Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Jerry's Cigar Shop, 2810 Shera Road and 2910 Cary Forest Parkway. Online at jerrycigarshop.com.
Hi, Chris Kraft. If you served your country, I am speaking exclusively to you, the best and the bravest amongst us. At each of the Kraft Brothers dealerships, Veterans Day is more than just a day on our calendar. If you are a member of the U.S. military who is active, reserve, retired, or a veteran, Kraft announces again this year our generous military discount program. During the Veterans Day week, Kraft will guarantee that you get up to $5,000 off any new car in our lot with no payment until next year. We call it Operation Appreciation. And the Kraft Brothers take it one step further, because to us, it's a lot more than just another day off from work. Every fireman, every policeman, every veteran, Kraft, Nissan, and Infiniti want to help you help your family. Deployed overseas, you still get privileged military pricing and the ability to order for convenient stateside delivery. And at the end of the week, the Kraft Brothers will make another contribution to the Wounded Warrior Project. Respect for every man and woman who chooses to protect our lives and our liberties. Kraft, Nissan, and Infiniti of Tallahassee, thank you for your service.
A Kraft Brothers dealership.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Ohio State defensive end and Heisman Trophy contender Chase Young will not play tomorrow against Maryland, apparently because of a possible eligibility issue. Young tweets today he accepted a loan from a family friend last year. That loan was repaid in the summer, and Young is now working with the school and the NCAA to get back on the field. The big game on the schedule tomorrow is number 2 LSU against third-ranked Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Both teams 8-0. ESPN's Ryan McGee.
It's not just about the numbers next to the names. I mean, this is 20 years in now of this game determining who wins the SEC West. That's the power in college football, and it begins and ends with Alabama and LSU. And, the numbers are what they are, and the national championship trophies are what they are, and that's why this game will always be a big deal. And, oh, by the way, it doesn't hurt that, there's 2s and 3s next to their names.
Ryan McGee on the ESPN Daily podcast. Falcons quarterback Matt Ryan will play Sunday against the Saints. He missed the team's last game in Week 8 against the Seahawks with a sprained ankle. Rick Pitino will be the coach of the Greece national team during Olympic qualifying. They'll play in a qualifying tournament in June. Pitino coached a team in the Greek League to a championship earlier this year, but since he's been trying to find an NBA job. He may get to coach Giannis Antetokounmpo during that qualifying tournament. College basketball tonight, 7 Eastern on the SEC Network. Second-ranked Kentucky hosts Eastern Kentucky at Rupp Arena. At the same time on the ACC Network, 4th-ranked Duke hosts Colorado State at Cameron Indoor.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday. Brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachia Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Let's take in an email here, shall we? Jeff and Tom, longtime listeners, second time writing an email to you. As you know, today is Coach Bowden's 90th birthday. Happy birthday, Coach Bowden. I have a question about what is the official win count as a head football coach. Is he still considered to be behind Paterno? First question you ask, I can answer. Yes, he is considered to be behind Paterno. I know he had to vacate some wins, some meaning 12. Any effort to have those wins reinstated? Yes, there have been efforts, and he is still efforting. I think Florida State is as well to get those wins reinstated. Thanks for the show. Enjoy listening every day on the way home from work. Go Noles, go Odell. That from Hyatt. Thank you, Hyatt. Appreciate the question and the email on this subject. The NCAA can go to hell. I say that about most things with the NCAA. They did reinstate Joe Paterno's 111, 110, whatever it was, plus wins back, and he sits at 409. Bobby Bowden currently sits at 377. I would consider that 389. I don't acknowledge, now I'm not in an official capacity to do this, I don't acknowledge the vacated wins. I acknowledge them as having still counted for Coach Bowden. You can't vacate wins. You can't. It's dumb. Didn't happen. Games were played and won. Everybody knows it, including the participants and those that watched. So there's no such thing as vacating wins. You can remove a guy's name from a record book, or you can put an asterisk next to it, but you can't vacate wins. That's the stupidest damn thing the NCAA has ever done. Well, and that's saying something because they've done a lot, so maybe I should walk that back a bit. But no. Eddie Robinson has 408 wins. Joe Paterno has 409 wins. Bobby Bowden, in my mind, has 389 wins, not 377. Now, having said that, when, and this is all class from Bobby, which is usually the case, back in, I think it was 2015, when they reinstated Paterno's wins, Bowden was asked about it. And he said in numerous articles, I know one I read not all that long ago, the Orlando Sentinel, he said that he was all for Paterno getting those wins back. He said, no, Joe should get all those wins back. They should have never taken him to begin with. Oh, by the way, I'd like my wins back too. So he was for Joe getting his wins, and Bobby, of course, wanted his wins as well, and he should get them. It's dumb.
Well, Bobby said as much too, or hinted as much Wednesday when he was talking to Tom Block and Keith Jones on Front Row Knowles. They did an interview with Coach Bowden for his 90th birthday, which day, so happy birthday,
again,
Coach.
Happy birthday, Coach.
He's dealing with a bit of a hip issue, he said. He hasn't been able to hit golf balls in about a month and a half.
So I'm a member at Killearn, just like I'm a member at Southwood, and love both places. But when I go to Killearn, I have to confess that when I pull into the parking lot, there is always this measure of hope that I'm going to see Coach Bowden, because he, too, is a member there, and he frequently would go and putt for hours at a time. And I've run into him a lot of times. Anyhow.
Yeah, he said, I couldn't believe he, because he's 90, obviously, and he says he doesn't like to walk or run as far as exercise or, that kind of stuff, but hitting golf balls was his chance to get out there and do something active. But a hip issue has been holding him back, and he said, so I haven't been able to hit golf balls, and I thought he was going to say, 5 years, or a year. 6 weeks, a month and a half. So hopefully that thing gets better for him. But yeah, I agree with you. If I'm going to vacate wins, I wouldn't do it for a music course that we self-reported. I'd do it for ignoring child rape.
Yeah. So the Sandusky child molestation / child rape scandal is what led to Joe Paterno's wins being taken away. 111 victories at the time that the NCAA vacated from the record books as sanctions for ignoring child rape. And then from there, of course, you try to compare the severity of the infraction with Coach Bowden's, and you go, what are we doing here? So we've now restored those wins on Paterno's record, but we can't give Coach Bowden back his 12 because there was an overzealous, what were they? It was not a teacher, actually, was it? It was a...
it was like a grad assistant
or whatever it was. Yeah.
A tutor.
Tutor. That's what it was. Yeah, I'm sorry. I couldn't think of the word tutor. Yeah, it was a tutor who was just a little overzealous. And we self-reported it, which we should have never done.
Correct. Self-reporting is not the way to go. Apparently, Ohio State was, I think they self-reported this particular incident too, or at least they're cooperating with the NCAA when it comes to a big-time suspension for their star defensive end.
He received money and paid it all back from a family. And I was going to bring that up.
The summer before.
It was 2017.
Right.
So, yeah. No. This is silly. I always kind of roll my eyes at the idea of vacating wins. What are we doing? Just stop that nonsense. No, you're not vacating wins. And the NCAA really should stop doing that. I mean, I know that it gets uncomfortable when we bring up the Paterno stuff, but there's nothing uncomfortable about talking about the 12 losses or 12 wins that Bowden had taken from him. It looks like child's play compared to what we've seen play out over the last, say, 5 years. Look what just happened at North Carolina. Systemic cheating for 20-plus years with a made-up – I mean, come on.
And it's okay because it was available to everybody. That's how they got away with it. Chase Young, of course, we'll talk about him in a bit. But, that's if I was to vacate wins, I think I'd do it for child rape instead of the other reason.
Or the ignoring of child rape, yes, or the turning your back on.
Knowing about it and doing nothing about it,
right,
yes.
Right. That, man, I'll tell you what's crazy is I don't want to go and relitigate that, but, man, when you go back and look at all of the reports and the investigation and
if he knew, and I think we all believe he did.
I think he did.
And if it killed him,
good.
Good.
Yeah, no, I agree. The only shame of it is if he 100% knew and ignored it, I wish he hadn't got to live as long as he did.
Yeah.
That's an awful long time to keep going.
Yeah, because how many more from the point he knew?
Those were crazy times, man. When that stuff all went down, you know a guy I feel bad for?
They levied the punishment, I think, when we were in the ACC kickoff years ago.
Right, yeah. Well, I also remember thinking the hard part here was the NCAA was kind of out of their league. I mean, it's not a investigation, like a criminal investigation team for the NCAA. They don't. I mean, we got into real life stuff here. It's like doling out punishment to universities who have a player commit a crime, like commit a violent crime or something, like murder. Like, say, Aaron Hernandez shoots somebody while playing for the University of Florida, and then they suspend, and then Florida is on probation for 5 years. You really kind of can't do that. Just let law enforcement take care of Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah, but if it's proven that the university...
if they went out of their way to cover it up,
right,
or a coach knew of the situation...
And just let him keep on playing and said, well, we'll keep this quiet. Yeah.
Yeah, well, then
at that point,
you get into lack of institutional control.
State legislature could step in, too, and say, hey.
Yeah, you in those situations you get into lack of institutional control, especially if there was a concerted effort by many within the organization, say the athletic department, the coaching staff, you name it. The Urban Meyer stuff at Ohio State, just having an assistant that he took with him from Florida who had done this same thing previous, and then his own wife telling him, "Look, we got a problem here."
Apparently, that dude's got a podcast that people listen to.
I don't know. Well, wow.
Yeah, let me associate myself with that podcast. Ridiculous.
Yeah. I wish we could find the deleted texts on Irvin's phone that.
I just needed to clear my memory. I don't know.
Phone was working so slowly.
Speaking of memory, I don't have one, but I do have a great faith and a love for my family.
Remember that? How about my man rolling out the "I suffer from temporary loss of memory due to the medication"? I'm like, my man.
And they let him roll with it.
Bold. Bold. I don't know how much they let him roll with it, though. It wasn't long after that he was retiring.
Well, I mean,
I know, in an official capacity.
Make a statement. I'll bet if they knew then what they know now about Ryan Day and his ability to coach, they probably would have fired him.
Yeah, on the spot.
They probably would have had the guts to fire him.
Would have made you look good, that's for sure. I'd have fired him when he gave me that scowl that he gave in front of the press as we sat up there at the table.
You know what? I've changed my mind. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Hang on a minute.
Hey, okay, you're done. We're done. Have a good one. Yeah.
The both of yous.
Ohio State looks incredibly organized, very well prepared, and uber talented. That team, wow.
If this was 5 years earlier, so we had this crisis, and we've still won the national championship. So, So we're still satisfied to a degree with that we've climbed back up atop the mountain. Would you have considered Jim Tressel 5 years ago?
I know you like Jim Tressel, and Jim Tressel did a good job when he was at Ohio State. And given that what he was run out of Dodge for is nothing compared to some of the things we see now.
Because we're going on 10 years since that happened, which is amazing.
If he were a lot younger, I suppose, he clearly was a good football coach. Yeah. That's bizarre, that whole situation.
The mistakes I've made are unfortunate.
Well, the thing that sucks about that is when we go back in hindsight and look at what he was being punished for, it's absurd. You almost wish that in that moment somebody would have walked in and go, "What are we doing? Just go out there and say sorry about letting the kid get the tattoo. Whatever. What do we do? Who cares?"
Well, don't lie about it and wear the vest and speak to integrity.
Well,
that was the
lying.
problem.
The lying got him. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sun is going.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
%100% black Angus beef, pepper jack cheese, zesty Santa Fe sauce, and enough pickled jalapenos to give it a kick. If it got any more authentic, we'd have to serve it with a cactus and a side of tumbleweeds. The Southwest Patty Melt. Now at Hardee's. Available for a limited time after regular breakfast hours at participating Hardee's. Hotter and juicier beef patty as compared to the Hardee's original beef patty.
Hey guys, looking to unwind with a gin and tonic after a long day? Or reward yourself with an old-fashioned for you and a cosmopolitan for her? All from the comfort of home? Now you can, with a touch of a button. Introducing the DrinkWorks Home Bar by Keurig, an automated cocktail maker that delivers classic manly cocktails, flashy fruit cocktails, and everything in between right from your countertop. Each cocktail combines top-shelf spirits and premium mixers. Just insert the pod into the drink maker, press start, and your delicious cocktail, chilled to perfection, will be ready in under a minute. For a limited time, we're offering the DrinkWorks drink maker for a savings of $50 off the website price. This exclusive early bird offer won't last, so order yours today. To redeem this exclusive offer and experience the revolutionary DrinkWorks drink maker, go to drinkworks.com and enter code 2525 at checkout. That's drinkworks.com and enter code 2525 at checkout. Go beyond just wine and beer and step up your cocktail game at drinkworks.com. Keurig is a registered trademark of Keurig Green Mountain Inc. used under license. Please enjoy responsibly.
As sports fans, we all know this is the best time of the year. And the best places to catch all the action are at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill and 7th Hill Tap Room. If you're a fan of an action-packed environment, the Corner Pocket is the place to be. Happy hour specials every day, including all day on Sundays, with sports in HD everywhere you look. For location hours and menu, head to cptallybar.com. Whether you're feeling the upstairs at the Corner Pocket or lounging down at the 7th Hill Tap Room, your game day is always covered. 2475 Appalachia Parkway, right next to Earth Fair.
Need help moving? 2 Men and a Truck Tallahassee provides professional home and business move services, both locally and long distance. For your next move, visit 2men.com or call them at 850-224-2232. 2 Men and a Truck, the movers who care.
One of my favorite things about being a member at Orange Theory Fitness is the sense of community. Initially, after taking the tour and seeing the state-of-the-art equipment, I was intrigued. I became convinced even once I researched the science-backed technology track, coach-inspired workouts, all of that. But what I didn't count on was the support, the sense of camaraderie shown by the members and the coaches. You realize pretty quickly you're not alone. And when you're pushing yourself through barriers and attempting to be your personal best, you can use all the help you can get. And it's there. It's amongst the members and coaches at Orange Theory Fitness. To learn more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Why wait for Black Friday? Get Black Friday prices today at the Home Depot. Pick up a Dyson V8 Animal Cordless Vacuum at a special buy just $299. It was $399. Cord-free, hassle-free, powerful suction to pick up pet hair across all floor types. You can pick one up for $100 off. Black Friday savings. Early. Now at the Home Depot. More saving. More doing. U.S. only while supplies last. See store for details. Valid through November 16th.
This hour of the Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Jerry's Cigar Shop, 2810 Shara Road and 2910 Cary Forest Parkway. Online at jerrycigarshop.com. Driving every day from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Ohio State defensive end and Heisman Trophy contender Chase Young will not play tomorrow against Maryland, apparently because of a possible eligibility issue. Young tweets today he accepted a loan from a family friend last year. That loan was repaid in the summer, and Young is now working with the school and the NCAA to get back on the field. The big game on the schedule tomorrow is number 2 LSU against third-ranked Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Both teams 8-0. ESPN's Ryan McGee.
It's not just about the numbers next to the names. I mean, this is 20 years in now of this game determining who wins the SEC West. That's the power in college football, and it begins and ends with Alabama and LSU. And, you know, the numbers are what they are, and the national championship trophies are what they are, and that's why this game will always be a big deal. And, oh, by the way, it doesn't hurt that, you know, there's 2s and 3s next to their names.
Ryan McGee on the ESPN Daily podcast. Falcons quarterback Matt Ryan will play Sunday against the Saints. He missed the team's last game in Week 8 against the Seahawks with a sprained ankle. Rick Pitino will be the coach of the Greece national team during Olympic qualifying. They'll play in a qualifying tournament in June. Pitino coached a team in the Greek League to a championship earlier this year, but since he's been trying to find an NBA job. He may get to coach Giannis Antetokounmpo during that qualifying tournament. College basketball tonight, 7 Eastern on the SEC Network. Second-ranked Kentucky hosts Eastern Kentucky at Rupp Arena. At the same time on the ACC Network, 4th-ranked Duke hosts Colorado State at Cameron Indoor.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday. Brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachia Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Libations Friday edition of the program. Thanks for tuning to it. Hope you're well out there. Hang in there, everybody. Hang in there. By the way, quick reminder, tomorrow's game, Florida State, noon. We'll be at Hangar 38. If you want to swing on by, get you a tall, cold one, eat the good food, check out the bevy of televisions that abound at Hangar 38. You can check in that game. Of course, the buildup is really to Alabama, LSU. And your kids could walk around and bowl, play some video games, all that good stuff. Come on by and see us. By the way, we're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you're going to listen live via the streaming free always. All right, it's Friday. That means we're bringing in my man Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports. This is what we do every week. Let's take a look at the games. He had a winning week again last week, and I think there's a big one brewing here on the card. Is that correct?
There is. We rate our games from 10 to 50 units, and maybe 4 or 5 times a year we'll come out with a 40-plus unit game. Biggest release of the year, my college football, 50-unit underdog shocker. I found a game where a team's getting more, and I'm going to text you the game so you'll have it, and feel free to tweet it out after it starts. This is one of these games where the team's getting more than a touchdown, and I think they're going to win the game outright.
Okay, now you got me thinking. I'll spend the remainder of the interview thinking about it.
I'm sending you the game.
All right.
And you're going to be, when you see the game, and I send it to you right now.
All right.
So
I've got my
you've
phone.
Got the game.
All right. Oh, you know what? It's funny you bring this up. I'm not going to say it on air. Don't worry. I'm not going to screw you over here. But I saw that game and that number and thought, ooh, well, I kind of like the number for sure. Okay. But I didn't know you liked them outright. Okay.
Yeah, I got some good info on some stuff going on.
Okay.
One of the teams is favored. I think that they got some real problems. Maybe not as bad as Florida State, but they're up there.
Well, Florida State's problems are kind of going away. They're firing people now. It's since we last talked. Here you go.
Are you going to end up coaching?
No,
by the end of the year?
Well, if the money's right, Lee, we'll see. Let's see if they come to the table with a significant offer.
You're not going up to Boston, are you?
No, God. No.
Oh, okay.
No. I'm not going to watch that.
We've never spoken about this. Your mom's still alive, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Is she a big sports fan?
Massive. She's on my show every Friday, actually.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and we do games. Yeah,
so one day I can't listen to your show.
Yeah. We do it all the time. Yeah, she's a huge sports fan.
Does she give you picks or something?
Well, we pick against each other in the NFL. We're in a pool together, and we pick against each other. She knows her stuff, Lee. She does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same with my mother. I get a call from my mom last night. A couple times a year, she called me. I guess she knows some good games on TV. She goes, pick me up at 12 noon, and she goes, I'd like to have some corned beef for lunch and shorties for dinner. So I guess she's staying from 12 noon till about 9 or 10 o'clock at night.
She's letting you know I'm here for the football all day long and good eats.
Here's the funniest thing. For Thanksgiving, we generally have 30, 35 people over.
Yep.
Got 10 TVs. We got food. The kids are playing basketball on my court. I mean, there's flag football. There's all kinds of stuff going on. The two people that, as soon as they start eating their meal, as soon as they get there, except for when they're eating, and I have four chairs in my man cave,
right?
And then we pull up other ones around it, and kids and people sit on the floor. The two people that man the two middle seats are my mom and my dad's sister. They're 80 and 81 years old, and they don't move, and they let you know if you're even thinking of sitting in their seat.
No dice, no chance. They're taking it all in. Well, that's good. Do it. Yeah. Well, they've got seniority. You got to give way. It's the right thing to do.
Trust me, they know their stuff. It sounds just like your mom.
Who are they taking in the Wake Forest Virginia Tech game, Lee? Wake -2.5.
Here's the thing about this game. I'm looking for Virginia Tech and trying to find something that they're good at. Not good really at anything.
No, they're not.
This is a very nondescript team. Wake Forest, number 9 in passing offense, number 7 in total offense. They got 2 quarterbacks that are better than anything that Virginia Tech has. Virginia Tech quarterbacks are so up and down. I just can't back them here. Jamie Newman is a really good quarterback.
Yeah.
3 touchdown passes last week, 2 touchdown runs. Both Tech quarterbacks, Quincy Patterson the second, and also freshman Hernan Hooker. They just can't get it done. I mean, that score, if you looked at the score against Notre Dame, you're thinking, wow.
They should have got blown. Virginia Tech should have got blown out in that game.
Yeah.
But as it were, they had a chance to win it and gave up a 4th and 10 and a last drive, and so they got to be heartbroken, right?
Yeah, and that's why the line's close as it is. People also, they're just trying to get half the money on one side, half on the other. Give me Wake Forest here. they win and cover 40-34.
We agree on that one right out the box. Baylor has been a nice story this year. Matt Rule's done a real good job with them. They're fortunate to be undefeated right now, and so is Minnesota for that matter. But let's look at Baylor -2 against TCU. This is a fun game.
Yeah. Did you watch their game against West Virginia?
I did not watch Baylor's game against West Virginia, no.
So for the first time this year, first 4 possessions, they played scared. Play calling was very conservative. They only got 1 first down. I think they realized that the way that they're good, not great, because they certainly don't have the talent to be great, but the way they're good is when they attack. And they just didn't do it in that game. Charlie Brewer last year against TCU had played scared also. He was only 14 for 29 with an interception when they lost 16-9. Matt Rule, 0-3 against TCU. Now, here's something what's great when you get to this point in the season, Jeff. You look and you can see a lot of data. There's a lot of analytics on games. And you can look at things and you're trying to figure out, like, whenever TCU is good, you can look this up. They are always top 10, top 15 in turnover differential. When they're having a rough season, they're in the bottom third. They're number 102 out of 130 teams. And now all of a sudden their quarterback, Max Dugan, true freshman, he's about 75, 80%. He's going to try to give it a go. He is not playing well. 4 interceptions in the last 2 games. And their number 2 and 3 quarterbacks hit the transfer portal. So I like Baylor here. I don't think they're great, but I think they're going to stay undefeated for another week, 24-20.
We agree on this one. All right, let's keep it rolling. Penn State is given 7. If you got it early in the week, you got it under 7 at 6 or 6.5, which is what I did. Obviously, I'm on the side of Penn State. You may disagree with me. Talk to me about Minnesota.
I think Penn State has the better talent, and I think if they play 10 times, I think they win and cover 7 or 8 times. Not a game I'm personally betting, not a game I'm giving to my clients, but when I studied this game, I watched Minnesota. They run like the same 15 or 20 plays over and over. They just do it well. They're efficient, and they don't turn the ball over. In fact, their defense has gotten 2 or more takeaways in 6 of the 8 games this year. Penn State's offense, and I was backing them early. I played them quite a bit early in the year, gaining just 293 yards per game the last 3 games. And the Gophers, this is where they do their best work as a dog. 4-0 against the spread. Last 4 games as a dog here. Crowd is going to be rocking there. It's one game. It's a game of matchups. I like Minnesota to pull off the stunner here. They're not going to go undefeated for the season, but they stand undefeated for one more week, 24-23.
Wow, that would be shocking to me anyhow. Okay, so obviously, before we get to the biggest of the biggest, let's go ahead and say that you and I jumped on Boston College given 2 with the quickness. Right. And you know, when the news came down that Marvin Wilson, Florida State's arguably best player, is missing the game, really missing the rest of the season. That's the end of his career with a hand surgery. So you're going against a team that wants to run downhill with 2 huge backs, and you're missing your giant defensive tackle. This does not bode well for Florida State. Do you still believe Boston College wins this game?
I do, and I think it's going to be cold.
Yeah.
Kids, you know, sitting on the sideline. I've gone up there and seen games for windy there, generally.
Oh, yeah.
And so if it's, let's say, high 30s, it feels like teens. It's that bad. And has it gotten cold there up there? What's the coldest it's gotten in Tallahassee?
Oh, it's been nice. We're in the 40s, and then you have a hot. Yeah, you guys are still hot down in Miami.
We haven't had a night where it's gotten under 70 yet.
Oh, buddy, today's high in Tallahassee is 66, and the low is in the 40s.
Okay. So even though they faced weather in the 40s or played or practiced in it, I think it's a little different when it's windy. You get those 10, 20-mile-an-hour winds coming off the ocean, and I know FSU is going to give us a line. These kids, they want to win here and against Alabama State, get to a bowl, but easier said than done. Not just A.J. Dillon. They got this kid, number 26, David Bailey.
Yeah, he's huge.
Yeah, and he's the guy after A.J. Dillon has pounded him. He can hit some of these big runs here, and I just think that BC's also playing with revenge for that loss last year, 22-21. They'll be ready. I like BC here, 34-27.
You and I both. Alabama is giving 6.5 points. The question about Tua's health and where he's at in the rehab and all that is what we're going to be obviously focused on. It's a great game. This is so far removed from 9-6.
Yep.
I mean, who would have ever thought, right? If I had told you back then, hey, in a few years these two teams are going to play, and you may want to take the over 63, you would have thought I was nuts, right? So,
right.
so Alabama.
Are you in front of a computer right now?
I am, yeah.
Okay, look up my website, ParamountSports.com.
All right, we're going to play this here. We will do this right now, ParamountSports.com.
All right.
Got it. Yeah.
Look at the main video. Where am I?
All right, hold on a second. Are you at it? This thing is being slow all of a sudden, of course, now that okay, here we go. Oh, Lee, you're trying to sell me some free picks here. Oh, there you are. There you are, buddy. You're right out in front of that's Alabama. Yeah, there you
Bryant
are.
Denny Stadium, right?
Bryant Denny Stadium, yeah.
Well, not actually. I have a really good computer.
Right,
so
right.
We took the game day set and took out the Home Depot sign and the college football game day and put superimposed the Paramount Sports logo there. So trying some different things. And
it is November,
this
as
is
you
the
said
game of
last
the
week. Yeah.
Maybe the game of the year. Now, when I started studying this game, I thought I was going to be all over LSU. Joe Burrow is unbelievable. I mean, he's completing a mind-numbing 79% of his passes for 30 touchdowns. But I think this game is going to be won by big plays. I think Alabama has the more explosive receivers here. They have three guys that can catch a ball, break a tackle, and go 70, 80 yards. I think that also turnovers could play a part in the game, and Bama, number 2 in the country in turnover margin. I don't think this is Alabama's best team, but I do think that Nick Saban's going to throw some different looks at Joe Burrow. I think we might see that 2-4-5 defense that some teams have employed this year, 3 or 4 teams, maybe even a 5-2 in some short yardage situations. He can't just come out vanilla, and I think it's going to be tight. Not a game I'm personally playing or giving my clients. I call it my $25 bowl of popcorn game. I think Alabama pulls away late and covers 37-27.
You know, it's interesting. It's funny your process, Lee. We do some similar things. I did think that as I was going to look at the game, I kept thinking, I'm probably going to take LSU here. I actually I don't like this Alabama defense right now. Yeah. They're kind of thin, especially at linebacker. But, yeah, I'm with you here. As the week has gone on, I've leaned more Alabama. Fun game, though. This is where it gets really good. All right, so Miami and Louisville is an interesting game. The Canes coming off the big win against the Noles, and defense played exceptionally well, starting to play pretty well there. It's a fun game. How do folks get it for you?
Just call me at 800-400-9741. I don't know how I've been able to do it, but I've figured out Miami. I think I've lost 1 week on them the entire season, so going for and against them a lot also. So you want to get this game, just call 800-400-9741. Is Miami going to blow them out here, laying the 6.5, or is this a trap line? Call 800-400-9741. And as we talked at the top of the segment, we rate the games from 10 to 50 units, found that game 50-unit play, my college football underdog shocker, biggest play of the year. You want to get it, just go to ParamountSports.com. If we hit on this game, be a documented 40-17 going back the last 12 years. So biggest game of the year. If you've been waiting in the wings or doing it on your own or trying someone else, this is the time to get involved. My biggest play of the year. ParamountSports.com, college football, 50-unit underdog shocker, or call us here at the office, 800-400-9741.
Always a pleasure, my brother. Enjoy your weekend.
Okay, thanks, Jeff.
All right, take care. That's Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports, joins us every week. We go over a handful of games, some of which are on his cards, some are not. Some are more regionally based. But because he doesn't mind it, I do this all the time. I will straight up tell him when I think he's off. But I, too, like Wake. I also like Baylor. I think he's wrong about Penn State, Minnesota. I think Penn State's going to roll and roll big. And so, by the way, if you're a sporting guy or gal, you can get that game at 6.5. You don't need to be given 7. Go to wherever you get 6 or 6.5 and give that. Don't give the touchdown. And then finally, we both agreed on Boston College. I have a hard time. I have a hard time believing Florida State's going to show up and play real hard. I hope I'm wrong. There is an outside chance that they do because of Odell. Odell is is beloved and in that locker room amongst this fan base and anybody associated with Florida State. So he might be able to summon sort of the spirit necessary to go up there and fight in the bitter cold and win a game against a team that's going to be real physical. But they do have some physical limitations, meaning Florida State, even if they have the want to, even if they have the what for, the fight that I'm alluding to, they may not have the personnel. And that's the real problem here. It becomes less about emotion and more about, do you have enough guys? I mean, you've got major injuries you're dealing with here to your best player against the run. Durden's banged up. Your linebackers haven't been good all year. So I don't, that's a tough matchup. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
At Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, we haven't offered employee pricing in over 10 years. It's back. Get some incredible deals, like a new 2019 Ram, $1,500 up to $7,500 off MSRP, plus 0% for 60 months on the 2019 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. A huge savings only at Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Here's another. A new 2019 Jeep Grand Cherokee up to $4,000 off MSRP. A new 2019 Dodge Challenger SXT up to $6,000 off MSRP. Buy one for only $26,999 during our Dodge Power Dollar sales event. Employee pricing plus everyone qualifies going on right now. Only at Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, where we're right on the corner and always right on the price. Visit us on the web at TallahasseeDCJ.com. Pricing on in-stock vehicles only, plus tax, tag, and dealer fee with approved credit. See dealer for details.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
Come visit the new and exciting Hangar 38. This amazing place is for everyone listening right now. Practice your bowling skills, compete, and have fun. Whether you're a newbie, an all-star, or a beer frame champion, no matter how you roll, you'll find the best place to bowl is at Hangar 38. Hangar 38 is home to over 75 arcade games, so they're sure to have something for everyone. Zeppelin's at Hangar 38 is a premier full-service restaurant and sports bar, and it's also your place for birthday parties and company outings. Tallahassee, what are you waiting for? Come on out to Zeppelin's Hangar 38, 6668 Thomasville Road behind Walgreens.
People trust Sellers for better tile, carpet, and hardwood flooring. Sellers Flooring Advisor Ryan Fitzgerald.
We understand most people don't come in with great knowledge of what they're looking for or what they need. So at Sellers, what we try to do is use our expertise to guide you through the process.
Get Sellers working for you.
We make it easy, and we have the experts on staff to get you where you need to be, and we give you the options.
On Capitol Circle Northeast, just north of Mahan Drive. Call 656-8453. Online at sellerstile.com.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
You know, something that I didn't get a chance to talk about with Lee, we did off the air. It's almost impossible anymore for universities of the magnitude or the notoriety, at least certainly within the football world, of Florida State, to fire a coach and conduct a search and not get mired in all of the stuff on the periphery that is just foolishness. Because even if you control the search the right way and you don't leak information out, social media begins the wild speculation. Folks weigh in across the country on supposed sources that they have. And then you have a situation you have like you had last night, where Deion Sanders tells Ian Rappaport and others that he works with that he's thrown his name in the hat to be a candidate for Florida State. Well, this is a tough situation for Florida State. It's not an ideal move by Deion Sanders to say that, first of all, even if he really did want to be a coach here, and even if he thinks that he would be a candidate, which he ought not be. But you've now put Florida State in a tough position because Deion Sanders' name, obviously, he's a Hall of Famer, linked to Florida State, and it's all over social media. And so from a distance, people sit back and laugh at Florida State because Deion Sanders can't possibly be a serious candidate to coach here. He's never coached college football a day in his life. So this isn't an entry-level position. This is a big to-do. It's a serious search. But you can't tell Deion and laugh him out of the room, disrespectfully, shut this down. On its face, absurd that he's done it to begin with. You have to kind of dance around the process. And, ideally what you would do is come out immediately and end all this silliness and say, no, Deion Sanders is not a candidate. But you risk offending one of the all-time greatest players in college and pro football history and offending a very famous alum. Now, my personal feelings aside, it is a dance that they now have to engage in, and it's unfortunate. I find it. I know Ira wrote on warchant.com. It's almost inconceivable to imagine FSU hiring anyone, even a legend like Sanders, with no coaching experience. Correct. Yes, let's just start there. Let's just start with that. No, man. This is not, once again, I repeat, this is not an entry-level position. We're not doing this.
If Warwick Dunn said this, I'd do a dance in order to make sure that Warwick Dunn is not offended. If Deion does it,
he did do it.
I'd find the nearest camera and say, I needed a good laugh this morning. Thanks. And then walk away.
You and I would. They're not going to do that. And it just sucks because I think this is how you get roped into looking like clowns, how you get roped into looking bad during your coaching search. Something you have no control over whatsoever is a famous alum like Deion coming out and telling his NFL Network guys, hey, I'd like to be a coach at Florida State. I'm putting my name in the hat. I'm officially a candidate.
And then there's Jay Glazer, and then LeBron says it's a good idea.
Of course. Yeah. And now you've got the highest profile names in sports reacting to it. So it becomes a story. They've not contacted Deion Sanders. They're not going to talk to Deion Sanders about this job. That's absurd. You know it and I know it. They're not going to do that. But now it's being talked about as if this is a real thing, a process, something that is happening. And, of course, it's not. It's hard in this day and age to conduct a coaching search and not get mired down in the muck with all the silliness, with all the speculation, wild speculation at that, about who is a candidate, who's not a candidate, because everybody has a voice, and occasionally people who do have credibility or people who are professionals in this business that cover college football react to stories like this. And the second they do, it co-opts what's happening with the actual search and becomes now a story surrounding the position. It's not ideal. It's unfortunate. But it's not Florida State's fault. This isn't Florida State's fault. They did fire their coach. They did feel like they need to move on. They are targeting certain individuals. It's remained pretty quiet. The speculation surrounding Bob Stoops was just that, a lot of speculation. I do think there was real interest there from Florida State and is real interest there. I think that Bob Stoops, like any other candidate, certainly is going to listen. Nobody who's 59 years old, still has some juice left in there, is going to not listen to an offer from a place like Florida State. He's going to listen. Just like if the Atlanta Falcons fire Dan Quinn, which they're going to at the end of this year, maybe even during this season. Listen, I mean, if Bob Stoops gets a call from the Atlanta Falcons, he may have no interest in that job, but he's going to listen. You're going to listen to what's offered.
Absolutely. You'd be doing yourself a disservice every time you don't listen to it all.
So there's a process here. It doesn't mean he's going to be the next head coach. It doesn't mean that he's interested. It just means that this has to play out. You got to hear what the offer is. You got to talk about it with your family and your representatives. You got to see if you can continue to bargain with the university for the things that you're going to want. And it takes time. And then from there, if Florida State views that it's too, he wants too much control, too much money, whatever it might be, all right, then you move on. To me, I think if we're talking about Stoops, I think in reality, Mark Stoops is probably a stronger candidate right now than Bob in the right now. Now, Bob Stoops is a much bigger name than his brother Mark, and it would be a much bigger splash to hire Bob Stoops. But if we're just talking about what do I think is probably more
Vegas
likely,
odds you're talking about. Yeah. Bigger probability, not bigger, obviously, in stature.
Right, yeah. Then I would tell you that Mark Stoops is likely a more probable hire than Bob Stoops. It's interesting. This is going to take a little bit. Again, I'll reiterate my stance like I did earlier in the week for all the people that were telling us it was going to be done, signed, sealed, delivered by Wednesday, or that they were going to announce it Thursday at noon. Immediately I said that's not going to happen. That's not the timeline. It's highly unlikely. You never say never, I guess, if something crazy happens, but by and large, there doesn't seem to be any evidence that this is going to happen that way, that it was going to at least be 10 to 14 days. Remember, the timeline is that they would like to get something done sooner rather than later, but that sooner was defined as before the end of November. So they got time. I mean, it's November the 8th. So, now maybe something happens over the weekend and we start to gain some momentum, and next thing you know, Wednesday or Thursday, there is an announcement. That would have been about a 10 to 12-day process. And that's quick. That's real quick. But that's like the quickest it was ever going to be.
No, the whole thing was you wanted to afford yourself more time to give yourself the best crack at a recruiting class while also letting it be known to the world, the college football world, the coaching world, that, hey, man, you don't have to speculate whether or not Willie's going to be gone. He's gone, so call us. Let's talk. We've got a great program to offer. Problem is with the Deion thing, perhaps I should recuse myself.
Well, you and I feel the same way. He's the missteps of Deion's post-football life are well documented.
Well, I just go strictly to university support. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. Well, and yeah. Well, we'll just leave it at that.
The front runner. I don't have time for front runners.
People get really into their feelings when you talk about Deion, man. It's funny. I get so many responses.
It's got to be people from the 80s.
No, it's like I think it's younger kids. They just idolize him. It's interesting. I mean, there are people who certainly recognize what an incredible player he was. There's no getting around that. I watched him play. I know he was unbelievable in college and in the pros. I think he's arguably, no, not arguably, I think he's the greatest corner to ever play.
It's two completely different conversations.
Right, but they get wrapped up in that.
I just don't understand how he doesn't come off to 100% of the world as disingenuous. How's that possible?
Self-serving is what he comes across as. He is a self-promotion
He's just bashing Florida State about the Taggart fire. So you're telling me he's interested in the job now because he's putting his name out there. So how much did he really care about Willie?
No.
You know what he cared most about?
Deion.
Was saying, I'm back. Was saying, I'm back on camera during the bowl, and then putting the message out there. He's sitting in the university where the film room, saying, I'm back, Florida State. All right, congratulations. I'm so glad you're back. I've been waiting. Honestly, it's like seeing Bowden back at practice. It's the exact same thing. Seeing Bobby back in old gear and Deion back in old gear. Those are on the same pedestal. Get out of here.
Ian Rappaport's tweet made me laugh. A fascinating situation that could unfold. Or not at all. Probably not at all. Definitely not at all. Not really a thing. Chef Cameron Show 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Theme music, Jeff. Gordo's needs theme music.
Gordo's, the restaurant, the delicious food and the people and the atmosphere. Gordo's, not you personally, but Gordo's.
Yes, I like Gordo's, that. Not me. I mean, of course, I would love to have people following me around playing music all the time.
Especially at Gordo's.
It's always in my head. But I need something for Gordo's. I need to have something special, something that, heck, the King of the Hill has his own theme music. The Kids in the Hall. Why not me? Why not Gordo's?
Why not Gordo's? All right, I guess I'm going to be looking for some theme music.
You mean you're going to have Tom looking for some theme music?
Yeah, I heard that.
Yep, get on it, Tommy. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
You're on your way to pick up your daughter from her first high school dance. As you pull away, it starts to rain. Hard. Thankfully, you have a new set of premium Trico wiper blades. Engineered for over 100 years to perform in any weather condition. With Trico's full line of premium beam blades, it also means you've got a clear line of sight for her first kiss, too.
Hey, buddy.
Head to your local auto parts retailer for a set of premium Trico wiper blades. Trico, seeing you through.
You check things all the time, like your email every 10 seconds, or your ex's Instagram. But what about checking something as important as your credit? Well, Discover makes it quick, easy, and best of all, free. Discover is now offering FICO credit scores to everyone for free, even if you're not a customer. And checking your score won't hurt your credit. We call it the Discover Credit Scorecard. And once you know your score, you should check to see if your current credit card is the best fit for you. Check your credit, compare your card. Go to discover.com/credit scorecard. Limitations apply.
Oye, amigo, it is the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
Arsenio from Clifton, New Jersey is saying the Jets are bad, but things will change. Things will never change, Arsenio. They will never, ever change. The Jets have been this bad since I was 7 years old, and they continue to be this bad when I am 47 years old, and when I'm 87 years old, they'll be worse. Thanks for the call.
The Dan Le Batard Show, weekdays at 10 a.m. on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Ohio State defensive end and Heisman Trophy contender Chase Young will not play tomorrow against Maryland, apparently because of a possible eligibility issue. Young tweets today he accepted a loan from a family friend last year. That loan was repaid in the summer, and Young is now working with the school and the NCAA to get back on the field. The big game on the schedule tomorrow is number 2 LSU against third-ranked Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Both teams 8-0. ESPN's Ryan McGee.
It's not just about the numbers next to the names. I mean, this is 20 years in now of this game determining who wins the SEC West. That's the power in college football, and it begins and ends with Alabama and LSU. And, you know, the numbers are what they are, and the national championship trophies are what they are, and that's why this game will always be a big deal. And, oh, by the way, it doesn't hurt that, you know, there's 2s and 3s next to their names.
Ryan McGee on the ESPN Daily podcast. Falcons quarterback Matt Ryan will play Sunday against the Saints. He missed the team's last game in Week 8 against the Seahawks with a sprained ankle. Rick Pitino will be the coach of the Greece national team during Olympic qualifying. They'll play in a qualifying tournament in June. Pitino coached the team in the Greek League to a championship earlier this year, but since he's been trying to find an NBA job. He may get to coach Giannis Antetokounmpo during that qualifying tournament. College basketball tonight, 7 Eastern on the SEC Network. Second-ranked Kentucky hosts Eastern Kentucky at Rupp Arena. At the same time on the ACC Network, 4th-ranked Duke hosts Colorado State at Cameron Indoor.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday. Brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachia Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
It's an interesting and sad situation here for now. One of the most exciting and dominating players in all of college football will not be able to suit up this weekend. Status for the rest of the season is also uncertain. Have you had a chance, Tom, to look at Chase Young play football?
I have, indeed.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's if you're putting together a guy to play defensive end in the NFL, you make him. It's like if you're constructing something, you go, okay, well, I want this guy's legs, this guy's speed, I want this guy's, lateral movement, I want this guy's bull rush.
Wingspan.
Wingspan. I want this guy's height and weight. I want this. Yeah, it's him. It's 100% him. He's a legitimate Heisman candidate on the defensive side of the football. We know that they won't give it to him. They never do. There have been plenty of good defensive players that could have won it and never got even considered. But he is a machine and a guy that I would like to see in Tampa but we're not going to. But he'll.
Well, we're 2-6, and we have the 8th pick in the draft currently.
I know.
A lot of bad teams.
Sidelined for Saturday's game against Maryland due to a possible NCAA issue from 2018 that the Department of Athletics is looking into. That, according to the school in a release today. In a statement on Twitter, Chase Young said that he accepted a loan last year from a family friend he met before arriving at Ohio State in 2017. Quote, I repaid it in full last summer, and I'm working with the NCAA to get back on the field as soon as I possibly can. I want to thank my teammates, coaches, and the whole Ohio State community for all their love and support. God bless and go Bucks. And he when eligibility issues arise, obviously, the process is for the school to hold the player out so they don't cost the team its games, its previous games, or any future games until they resolve the issue with the NCAA. Ohio State faces Maryland, who's ass, and Rutgers, who's ass. So you've got an opportunity.
Left cheek, right cheek.
Yeah, there it is. Back-to-back games against ass, legitimately horrible football teams before they have to take on Penn State. So this would be a matter of getting things resolved before, playing Penn State and Michigan. Those are the two that you need to be ready for there, Chase. Let's get this worked out. He has, by the way, through 8 games, 13.5 sacks, 5 forced fumbles, 29 tackles. He recorded 4 sacks and 2 fumbles, forced 2 fumbles when they routed Wisconsin. He's in 3rd place in the Heisman Watch, according to some of the sites that project voting. He's a badass. That guy, he's kind of high on my list, Tom.
I hope this hurts his draft stock so he can pick him around 7 or 8. That'd be good.
He's starting to move into the category that a certain offensive lineman fell into as we were approaching the draft.
Well, hang on now.
Yeah, well, I'm going to watch some more.
Don't crown him just yet.
I'm not crowning him just yet, but my man is a perfect specimen off the edge. It is something to behold. You're like, well, that's how you draw it up. I mean,
it would also save you some money if you're the Bucks long term because, that Shaq Barrett, let's lock him up long term plan. Let's pump the brakes on that.
Go easy on all that, yeah.
He's at 10.5 sacks. I think he was at 8 through 4 games.
Through like 2 games.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, look, man, they've produced some sure things up there. I mean, the Bosa kids, can play. May not like them, but they can play. Really play.
They fit the barstool culture,
yeah,
but they're
dominant.
They also rack them up, don't they?
Yeah, they are a dominant tandem. Those two, and it's crazy to look at the level of athleticism at that size. I mean, when we have the big picture conversations about the transformation of the game and why officiating has become so difficult, it's guys like this. It's guys like Chase Young. It's guys like Nick Bosa. You could never have projected 20 years ago, 30 years ago that guys were going to be 265, 275 pounds, svelte, able to run 4.5, 38-inch vertical. They're throwing around 500 pounds in the weight room, and they're just explosive. Like that's built to do damage. And so I think more and more we see these guys every year as the draft is coming around. You're like, God, how does anybody block that?
Well, yeah, I mean, all of the playing surfaces in the major sports are shrinking because of the evolution of. I mean, they're the same size as they were when. Take a look at an NBA court in 1952.
Right. Spacing looked all right.
Spacing looked a little different.
Yeah, it did.
I think the relative size of people on the court looked a little bit different, and their capabilities looked a little bit different. But it's the same size court, and now look at the people on the court. Look at what the 6'10" player is able to do. He's able to do things that a 5'5" person was only dreaming of being capable of doing, and that's before you talk about the above the rim game. Same thing in all of these sports. It's all shrunken. It's all smaller than it was because we're bigger, faster, and much stronger.
Yeah, I'm always blown away by that. And when you sit there, you get down close to the field and you see guys like this, like Chase Young, you're just blown away by how much things have changed in the game of football. I mean, you only have to go back to the early 90s where I would look at guys and say, in my head, all right, well, I could be on the same field as that guy. That's not outrageous. Those days passed long ago. I mean, when we watch the freshmen come in every year now, I never have an illusion that I could be on the field. Well, now I'm 48, I get it, but I'm saying even me in my prime, in the best shape I've ever been, going away to Etsu, right? Like no version of me could have been on the field competing with those guys.
Well, and that's why you have all the respect in the world for the small defensive backs or receivers. And you're like, man, they're still the same size. Like, this dude is still 5'10", 185. And you're like, how do you live? How do you live through a game?
Carefully. You've got to be very careful. I would imagine
the tide turned at Christian Jones and Mario Edwards, didn't it? Yeah. That's when you go, ooh.
That was different, wasn't it?
What is this?
That was different. I was blown away. Yeah, I think Christian Jones was the first guy that I looked at from day one and went, good Lord,
right.
Holy moly, what are you going to do with that?
Bradham had the frame, and by the time he was an upperclassman, of course, but just upon walking on campus,
right,
you go, really?
Yeah, if you remember, the thing with him, he had stiff hips. He wasn't fluid, really couldn't, he's gone about the process of making himself a really good linebacker in the NFL, but there were question marks about him because he wasn't so fluid. But Christian Jones, you thought, who runs like that at that size? And who looks like that at that age? It's bizarre.
Yeah, he's a senior, and he walks to campus as a 17, 18-year-old, and you're like, wow. And remember when Eddie Goldman first got here? And he was here on a recruiting trip as a senior, and he was standing next to Timmy Jernigan.
Yeah, and he dwarfed Timmy Jernigan.
What?
Yeah, Eddie Goldman's a different animal, man. That's a different guy. That guy, you see him in the NFL, he's big. A lot of guys, it's funny, a lot of guys that are big in college don't translate to being big in the NFL. Like you don't see them jumping off the screen.
Sure.
But when you watch the Bears, if Eddie Goldman's in there, you go, well, that's Eddie Goldman. He's biggest guy on the field.
Well, that's also a uniform that's going to make you look big too, for two reasons. Number one, the white's on the road. It's just it's easier when you're wearing a white uniform to have your gut hanging out. It's like the Cowboys' offensive line.
Yeah.
Right. You just automatically look bigger. You may be, but it adds 20 pounds to the camera. Secondly, they have skinny numbers. A lot of teams have wide numbers that cover basically the entirety of your jersey, but the Bears numbers are nice and thin.
Yeah, I never
so they
think
make
about
that
it that
gut
way,
look even bigger.
Goldman, man. Every time I see him, I'm like, look at the size of Eddie Goldman. That's just wrong. What he did to that poor Clemson center when he jumped.
Oh, my God. That felt so meaningless. That's the example. When I got my grandkids and they're watching, who cares? Just give them the touchdown. Hang on a minute.
Hold on now, you don't know.
Eddie Goldman. Oh, here we go again with Eddie Goldman.
No, I saw Eddie Goldman intentionally, I believe, jump off sides and destroy the center, which moved them a half an inch closer to the goal line, but more importantly, led to an errant snap. Because that guy knew he was about to get destroyed again from Bigfoot. I mean, he knew it was over.
That should not be forever known as the Jameis suspended game. It should be forever known as the Eddie Goldman cared night at Doak Campbell Stadium.
Because it was somewhat rare.
Yeah.
That was the problem with Eddie Goldman. It was that some days he didn't feel like being there.
He felt like playing that night. I don't know what it was.
Well, he dominated that game.
Maybe he knew that all of the scouts would be there for Florida State Clemson, and he decided, here's the night.
He got it right. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Tool. Choose from impacts, drills, grinders, and more. That's 3 tools and 3 5-amp-hour batteries exclusively at Cornerstone. 1110 Stuckey Ave and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Tallahassee location open on Saturdays from 8 a.m. until noon. Lane's Medical Shop has all of your home medical needs. They carry home oxygen, hospital beds, nebulizers, walkers, wheelchairs, orthotics, diabetic shoes, and all sleep apnea supplies. Lane's also has a weight loss clinic in-house, no appointment necessary, including B12 injections and any prescriptions necessary with the lowest prices around, and delivers to Tallahassee and South Georgia. Located only 40 miles from Tallahassee. Go see Blake today, 210 West Main Street, Colquitt, Georgia, 229-758-9111.
At Sport Clips Haircuts, we're on a mission to help our veterans with their education. In 2013, we established the VFW Sport Clips Help a Hero Scholarship Program. With the help of your generous donations, we've raised over $6 million and awarded more than 1,400 scholarships across the country. Visit Sport Clips today and help a hero. And on Veterans Day, November 11th, Sport Clips will donate an additional $1 for every haircut we give. Help us continue this honorable mission.
Looking for a bit of cowboy flavor? Introducing Hardee's Southwest Patty Melt, a hearty sandwich with all the taste of the great American Southwest. We're talking a hotter, juicier, thick burger made with 100% black Angus beef, pepper jack cheese, zesty Santa Fe sauce, and enough pickled jalapenos to give it a kick. If it got any more authentic, we'd have to serve it with a cactus and a side of tumbleweeds. The Southwest Patty Melt, now at Hardee's. Available for a limited time after regular breakfast hours at participating Hardee's. Hotter and juicier beef patty as compared to the Hardee's original beef patty.
Hi, this is Peter Bond, owner of Jerry's Cigar Shop. Jerry's has been a local favorite for cigar enthusiasts for the last 25 years. We have the largest walk-in humidors in town, filled to the brim with an amazing cigar selection. Relax in one of our leather chairs and enjoy an ice-cold beer or a glass of wine with your cigar. Jerry's is a great place to watch sports on our big flat-screen TVs and offers a comfortable setting for lively conversation. Visit our original store on Sharer Road or our new second location on Cary Forest Parkway. We hope to see you soon.
One of my favorite things about being a member at Orange Theory Fitness is the sense of community. Initially, after taking the tour and seeing the state-of-the-art equipment, I was intrigued. I became convinced even once I researched the science-backed, technology-tracked, coach-inspired workouts, all of that. But what I didn't count on was the support, the sense of camaraderie shown by the members and the coaches. You realize pretty quickly you're not alone. And when you're pushing yourself through barriers and attempting to be your personal best, you can use all the help you can get. And it's there. It's amongst the members and coaches at Orange Theory Fitness. To learn more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Toting Jim, tell Butch Knight, toting Nanny, tell Sass, talking Fanny.
Good stuff. Really good stuff. All right, so people are terrible at public relations. And it happened again. It happens a lot to the Bears, to Bears quarterbacks. We can go back to our boy,
Jake Cutler.
In a playoff game. I'm just going to stand down here. No, you're not. You can't tell people you're too hurt to play and just be standing here yucking it up.
And I'd be even more mad as a Bears fan because have you seen some of the montages they're doing for NFL 100? There's like all these, every game they've got a different one. But they're talking about the 100 characters in the NFL, and they do this mashup. And it's Jay Cutler in a Bears uniform saying, "How's my hair look?"
Oh, man.
Nope. I'd change the channel if I was in Chicago.
Yeah, and that's a town that won't take kindly to that one. All right, so here's the deal. Current Bears quarterback, Mitch Trubisky, who won't be there for much longer, I don't believe. This experiment is going to end rapidly. It's a shame that this gets out. Now, I'm not going to lose sleep over it, and he said it. But if you're the Bears, it can't happen. You can't have a quarterback revealing to the free world that he's sensitive and hears everything that is said about him to the point where he wants the TVs in Hallis Hall to be either on mute or turned off altogether when he's in the facility. No, man.
It's a long, cold winter upcoming, Chicago fans.
Oh, man. Don't do it. Listen, I get that it's not a big deal, but it's not a good look. He spoke openly at that Wednesday press conference that he does every week, all the players do. He was fielding questions about retaining a positive mindset and attempting to block out some of the outside noise and not responding to the chatter of his play this year, which has been poor, to say the least. This was the quote. "I've done a pretty good job of that, just trying to get some of these TVs in the building turned off because you've got too many people talking on TV about us and what they think about us, what we should do, what we are and what we're not, but they don't really know who we are and what we're capable of as people or what we're going through or what we're thinking at any given time. It's just the outside viewers looking in. So for me, it's tunnel vision, earmuffs. Just come to work every day and try to get better." Okay. But then they found out that he literally did ask for the TVs to be on mute. At first, I was going to defend him. I was going to say, well, no, I mean, he didn't mean necessarily that he wanted these TVs turned off. He's just saying that, there's a lot of negativity out there. You gotta avoid all that if you can. Okay, fair enough. But he doesn't want to hear it. Doesn't want to hear it. Well, man, you're in the wrong business, buddy. This is not good. You're a quarterback. You're a quarterback that was drafted in the first round that the Bears moved up to get, and a lot of people wondered about that, second-guessed it because they didn't think you had the requisite skills to be drafted where you were. And so they're watching very closely, and you're not playing well. And the Bears are losing games because you're not playing well. That's going to get talked about. It is part of the deal. It's certainly we know that in Tampa, and you know that all around. Well, they know it in Tennessee, too, and any quarterback that gets drafted in the first round is closely scrutinized, and it can change like that. And the narrative has started with him, but it's because he hasn't played well. The evidence is overwhelming. And so in this situation, I don't know. I mean, I think somewhere along the way we had to figure out as people what we can handle, what we can't handle when it comes to criticism from others. Like the kind of criticism you don't mind hearing and who it's from, and the kind of criticism that eats at you and is going to bother you and maybe affect you in a way that does not allow you to do your job. And so then from there, you learn what to screen, what to leave out, what to leave in, and all that good stuff.
I just feel like the Chicago offense is like Tiger's golf swing, and they keep trying to better themselves, and they had something working towards the end of last year. I don't know that the league really adjusted to it, but they add new elements to the running game. I remember week 1. I had Tariq Cohen in fantasy, and this is why I watched it closely. I'm looking at their plan, and I'm saying, wow, okay. So they had a lot of formations last year, and it was almost like the coaching staff wants to prove to you, look at all these things that I can do with all these players.
Right.
Now they got 2 tough runners. They don't know what to do with Tariq. They don't know if they want to be pass heavy or run heavy. They want to have 90 different formations. It's like what people say about Jimbo, when the people are saying, certainly now at College Station, they did here, you could simplify some things. Sometimes
you can help your guys out.
Sometimes 3rd and goal from the 1 is just to run straight ahead with a lead blocker. It doesn't have to be like 6 dudes moving pre-snap. I think that's what's going on here. Mitchell's not that great, obviously. Playing poorly, yes. Being put in a weird situation because I feel like they might have had a rhythm.
Yeah, Nagy's
and they
not
decided,
yeah,
here we go. Why don't we add this wrinkle, that wrinkle? Because we'll keep teams continuously off balance. Why don't you master a few things before you try and teach 90 other tricks?
Yeah, Nagy's not doing a good job. His game management's terrible. Play calling is terrible. It is. Obviously this is not going to work out. I don't think it's going to work out for either one of these guys. I do think that his own teammate said the right thing here, and I think this would be true of me if I were a player. It's kind of true of me now just as a radio host, I guess. This made me laugh. Anthony Miller, wide receiver with the Bears, said, even after games, I just find myself not shutting my phone off, but I just don't go to the social media sites. I just don't pay attention to it. It's not something that's bothering me anymore because I don't go. I could talk back and forth with somebody on Twitter all day, but I learned, it's really just a waste of time. There are a lot bigger things to focus on after games and moving forward, so I just don't do it. There you go, buddy. You got it. You nailed it. It's that simple. And if you're Mitch, it sounds like he's got rabbit ears is all I'm saying. Like he's trying to hear.
No, well, there's nothing wrong with that approach that Mitch is taking, which is turning off the TV, ignoring the noise and whatever. But when you say it in front of, the assembled media and it's an official press conference, not even like a breakout after an emotional loss. Like it's a midweek presser. Jesus.
Yeah, you had time, man. Yeah, don't do it.
This is absolutely terrible.
Final hour, fourth coming. Stay with us.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Got bundles of cash? You picture it? Good, because that's what we're going to give you. Yes, buy a new car at Kraft Nissan, you'll be handed $1,000 cash. Maxima, Murano, Armada, Pathfinder, Versa, yes, even Rogue and Altima. Buy a new car, get $1,000 for the holidays, or spend it however you want. Nissan calls it dealer cash. We like to think of it as your cash. No games, no gimmicks. You still get all the incentives like 0% interest on most models and up to $8,000 off. Other dealers finish the deal and hand you the keys. Kraft Nissan is going to hand you $1,000. If you've never held $1,000 in your hand, give it a try. It's a game changer. Buy before Christmas. And if your car doesn't have the Kraft tag on it, you paid too much. $1,000 too much.
A Kraft Brothers dealership.
As sports fans, we all know this is the best time of the year, and the best places to catch all the action are at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill and 7th Hill Tap Room. If you'd like a laid-back atmosphere, the 7th Hill Tap Room is your spot. 24 craft brew taps, plus wine options as well. And when you want to watch the pros, enjoy half off all craft drafts all day on Sundays. So, whether you're feeling the upstairs at the Corner Pocket or lounging down at the 7th Hill Tap Room, your game day is always covered. 2475 Appalachia Parkway, right next to Earth Fair.
Ho, ho, ho! The holidays are here, and the Florida Lottery has the must-get gifts of the season. Holiday Luck Scratch-Offs. They offer over 21 million winning tickets and more than $483 million in cash prizes. Wow! These are great!
Santa, where are you going?
Gotta get one!
Holiday Luck Scratch-Offs. Pretty much everyone's gonna want them. The Florida Lottery. It's your ticket.
Claim it!
Must be 18 or older to play. Play responsibly.
Come visit the new and exciting Hangar 38. This amazing place is for everyone listening right now. Practice your bowling skills, compete, and have fun. Whether you're a newbie, an all-star, or a beer frame champion, no matter how you roll, you'll find the best place to bowl is at Hangar 38. Hangar 38 is home to over 75 arcade games, so they're sure to have something for everyone. Zeppelin's at Hangar 38 is a premier, full-service restaurant and sports bar, and it's also your place for birthday parties and company outings. Tallahassee, what are you waiting for? Come on out to Zeppelin's Hangar 38, 6668 Thomasville Road behind Walgreens.
The Florida State basketball team has one of the best records in the nation at home the last 3 years. The Tucker Center is a house of horrors for opponents. Don't miss the best ticket in town, the ACC Pack. Come see the nation's best basketball right here in Tallahassee as the Noles host North Carolina, Virginia, Louisville, Syracuse, Notre Dame, Miami, and more inside the Tucker Center. College basketball is taking the capital by storm. Don't get left out. Purchase your ACC Pack today. Call 888-FSU-NOLE or visit Seminoles.com today.
Driving every day from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Ohio State defensive end and Heisman Trophy contender Chase Young will not play tomorrow against Maryland, apparently because of a possible eligibility issue. Young tweets today he accepted a loan from a family friend last year. That loan was repaid in the summer, and Young is now working with the school and the NCAA to get back on the field. The big game on the schedule tomorrow is number 2 LSU against third-ranked Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Both teams 8-0. ESPN's Ryan McGee.
It's not just about the numbers next to the names. I mean, this is 20 years in now of this game determining who wins the SEC West. That's the power in college football, and it begins and ends with Alabama and LSU. And, you know, the numbers are what they are, and the national championship trophies are what they are, and that's why this game will always be a big deal. And, oh, by the way, it doesn't hurt that, you know, there's 2s and 3s next to their names.
Ryan McGee on the ESPN Daily podcast. Falcons quarterback Matt Ryan will play Sunday against the Saints. He missed the team's last game in Week 8 against the Seahawks with a sprained ankle. Rick Pitino will be the coach of the Greece national team during Olympic qualifying. They'll play in a qualifying tournament in June. Pitino coached a team in the Greek League to a championship earlier this year, but since he's been trying to find an NBA job. He may get to coach Giannis Antetokounmpo during that qualifying tournament. College basketball tonight, 7 Eastern on the SEC Network. Second-ranked Kentucky hosts Eastern Kentucky at Rupp Arena. At the same time on the ACC Network, 4th-ranked Duke hosts Colorado State at Cameron Indoor.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday. Brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachian Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Joe, at least for this week, happy Libations Friday, everybody. Loosey-goosey edition of the program, as always. Hope you're well. Online, ESPNTallahassee.com to stream the show. You can also email us if you like, jcs at 979ESPNradio.com. On Twitter, it's at JCameronShow. Don't forget to utilize the WTSM app for your mobile devices as well. Hello, YouTubers. Hello, Periscopers. Tomorrow, by the way, another reminder. You've heard me say it a lot today, but if you're looking for a watch party and want to have some fun, we'll be over at Hangar 38 for the noon kickoff against Boston College. In a game that, obviously doesn't have nearly the same intrigue as we thought it might at the beginning of the season. Now you're in a situation where you're still fighting to get bowl eligible. I just don't know how many people care about that. It's interesting, last year we were wringing hands because of the bowl streak, and you kind of more and more you were coming to the realization that it might not happen, and then you beat Boston College. You're like, okay, we got something going here. They're starting to play better. They're playing hard. Now you just got to take care of Florida at home. Not easy, but could be done, and then we're bowling. Okay. Of course, somewhere around the middle of the first quarter, you realized we're not going bowling. Not going to happen. Try to keep it under 50.
I believe we had a certain guy at right tackle, and we were in the Memorial Champions Club.
You and I were up there, yes.
I go, dude, we're inside the 5. Why is he at right tackle? We better not call a pass.
Yeah, and then
we did.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, we watched it all play out. It was tough. It was a little unsettling. So we got demolished in that game, and we knew the answers to our questions. I think we kind of know the answers to our questions right now. Marvin Wilson just fired your head coach. Cold weather up in Boston, 2 backs running downhill. You're thin on the defensive line. Odell can only motivate so much. At some point, it's not about the motivation. It's about the personnel. It's about whether or not you have enough guys to make plays to get off the field. And we know how when this thing starts going downhill, it can really go downhill. BC's hung up big rushing numbers on a number of teams over the years. Going all the way back to me and Babani Jones cracking up on the air while you were laughing, listening to us laugh about USC giving up 500 yards of rushing.
Well,
500?
Maybe we shouldn't laugh so hard because what's the over-under tomorrow, 385?
Yeah, you're right, Tom, and it's not an absurd thing to say out loud. You'll know early. I knew watching – so, for example, after BC got done turning it over against Syracuse, and I had picked, BC and told you, hey, I'm on quit watch with that Syracuse team. I think they've quit, and I think BC's found an identity. This could be an easy win for us. But it's like 10-7 early in the first. I'm going, oh, man, come on now. Did I see this wrong? No, they just turned it over. Probably early in the second quarter, it was the 3rd consecutive drive where Boston College literally turned and handed the ball, I formation, through 32 veer, baby. I mean, just straight 3 back, 2 hole, right at you, as simple as football gets, right downhill, and nobody had their head where it was supposed to be. Nobody wanted to chase the man down. Nobody wanted any part of that. Next possession, Syracuse 3-and-out punt. BC, here it comes. 32 veer, right at you. Let's see if you're interested yet. Nope. And then from there, it got to be, how many points are they going to score? I think both their backs were over 100 yards rushing by halftime. A.J. Dillon's running wild, but that backup's running wild, and you're just going, okay, and I really do fear that's a little bit of what we're going to see tomorrow.
Just about want.
Odell.
I haven't had one of these this calendar year.
Regional points, 10 boards. Noah Locke had 14. Man chipped in with 11. But that game was a little bit closer than you would have thought, given that they're ranked 6th in the country. They won 74-59, and it was kind of close into the second half. So I don't know. Maybe we make this a ball game on the road in Gainesville. Maybe we'll get a little something better than we got from Trent Forrest this last game, and maybe MJ Walker shows up.
Well, we'll need to make baskets. That'll be different from the first half of last time around when we played Pitt. I think if you get it into the second half and it's close, they might start doubting themselves and say, what do we have to do to beat these freaking guys? But short of that, I don't know. This one should not be competitive because we're trying to find our way. And they at least have a couple more, if not a lot more, in the way of assembled parts. Who know roles, and even though Blackshear is trying to fit into their half-court offense and their defensive rotation, I'd like to try that. If it was us, I'd like to try and make things work with a guy like Blackshear for one season.
Well, what Florida had or didn't have a year ago, and it will be interesting to see if they do or we do for that matter this year, was they did not have a low-post presence against us a year ago, and it was made abundantly clear that they were going to get their ass run out of the building against Florida State. At one point, it was 74-39. This was a throttling, and then obviously cosmetically they were able to come back once the game was put away and make it relatively interesting. I guess at one point it was 52-38, and then also they went on whatever that 22-7 run to end the game and cut the score down. But it was still a thorough beatdown.
Yeah, it looks good in Wikipedia 10 years later, at least, or it looks better on Wikipedia 10 years later.
Yeah, it looks better, but they absolutely got blown out 81-60. And score wasn't as close or indicative of the game that was played.
I feel like the shoe's going to be on the other foot on Sunday. If that really? Doesn't, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're a mess right now with health, rotation, and experience. Oh my God, yeah, I expect this to be a throttling. But if it isn't, and it isn't for the right reasons, not that Florida plays like ass, but like we come up and we show the ability to.
Your starters have to carry the day, though, Tom. I think if our starters are not sitting on the bench, if 2 of our 5 starters aren't on the bench for 17 and a half minutes of the first half like they were in this last game, Vassell's going to score. I don't think they got anybody that's going to slow him down. Trent can't play that bad again, can he? Okay, MJ Walker, I've been looking for you for a long time. Raekwon, come on, baby. You've been in the system for a while now. I need you to play. You got 4 guys that I think if they show up and play well.
Yeah, but we like to play 10 no matter what. So that's the problem. I mean, we'll play at minimum, what do you think, 9 tomorrow? I don't know. This reeks of bad news bears.
Tom's off the train.
I'm not off the train, no. But we're like, this is your first week. Like, really? You're going on the road for a conference game and you're playing Florida with this much turnover? That's hard to ask. I mean, look at last year. What was the difference? Florida's best player was a freshman. We had all these guys coming back returning, and we had an understanding of who we were, where we were going, and we beat the crap out of them.
Well, we killed them on the glass. We absolutely dominated them. Never thought I'd say I missed PJ Savoy, but I kind of PJ was always good at the beginning of the year. Then he kind of faded away, and then maybe would make an appearance again in the NCAA tournament out of nowhere. But
well, Patrick Williams could help, but I mean, shoot, you got 2 true road games, one in conference and one against your rival to start your career. I mean, that's a tough ask when you're trying to get up to the speed of the game. Yeah. There's just a lot against us, a lot.
Well, you hang in there. I think we're going to make it a game in the second half. I don't like us to win, but I think we'll be in the game.
I'll take it.
All right. I'll take that. I'll take that bet.
I'll take the bet.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Some great food. What better place than Fire Betty's and Fox and Stag? They're expanding their food menus and would love for you to come over and give them a try, along with a unique craft cocktail or cold beer. Follow Fire Betty's, Fox and Stag on Instagram or Facebook for daily food and drink specials, as well as special events. Fox and Stag and Fire Betty's, located at the Manor in Midtown, serving food and drinks 6 days a week.
You check things all the time, like your email every 10 seconds, or your ex's Instagram. But what about checking something as important as your credit? Well, Discover makes it quick, easy, and best of all, free. Discover is now offering FICO credit scores to everyone for free, even if you're not a customer. And checking your score won't hurt your credit. We call it the Discover Credit Scorecard. And once you know your score, you should check to see if your current credit card is the best fit for you. Check your credit, compare your card. Go to discover.com/credit scorecard. Limitations apply.
People trust Sellers for better tile, carpet, and hardwood flooring. Sellers Flooring Advisor Ryan Fitzgerald.
We understand most people don't come in with great knowledge of what they're looking for or what they need. So at Sellers, what we try to do is use our expertise to guide you through the process.
Get Sellers working for you.
We make it easy, and we have the experts on staff to get you where you need to be, and we give you the options.
On Capitol Circle Northeast, just north of Mahan Drive. Call 656-8453. Online at sellerstile.com.
One of my favorite things about being a member at Orange Theory Fitness is the sense of community. Initially, after taking the tour and seeing the state-of-the-art equipment, I was intrigued. I became convinced even once I researched the science-backed technology track, coach-inspired workouts, all of that. But what I didn't count on was the support, the sense of camaraderie shown by the members and the coaches. You realize pretty quickly you're not alone. And when you're pushing yourself through barriers and attempting to be your personal best, you can use all the help you can get. And it's there. It's amongst the members and coaches at Orange Theory Fitness. To learn more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
We have to just settle something that's very important here. So if you go and figure out the area of a 17-inch pizza pie, right?
Right.
So the radius being 17 inches, obviously. In square inches, that is 907.92 square inches, okay? If you look at the area of a 12-inch pie, that is 452.39 square inches. And if you double that for two pies, that's 904.78 square inches. So you're actually eating 3.14 more square inches of pizza if you are eating a 17-inch pie versus two 12-inch pies.
And 3.14 is?
Holy
pie.
Holy.
Whoa. The Dan Le Batard Show, weekdays at 10 a.m. on 97.9 ESPN Radio. This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
I don't know why I never checked this out, but somebody sent it to me, and it remained buried with the other 73,817 emails that currently reside in my inbox and on my phone, much to the horror of Matt Millar. But there was a follow-up, Tom, to our story about the great cassowary murder of the Alachua County man. Cassowary that stomped and gored and shredded the Alachua County gentleman who was illegally holding on to said cassowary.
Closed casket, yeah.
That's a toughie, yeah. So that story had an update, and that bird, they didn't kill it. I would have guessed that the second they had to go in there to get the remains of the man who had been killed by the cassowary, that'd be the first thing you do. Where's the cassowary? We need to shoot the cassowary, everybody. I'm not going in to help Ted or retrieve Ted's body until this cassowary is dead. They're sneaky. They're predators. They're dinosaurs. He'll come jumping down on me as soon as I go in there to get him. He's probably going to protect its meal. But they didn't do that.
Get an old school Rambo bazooka.
I'd get a sniper from like way the hell out. The cassowary that killed that man. Along with, and his last name was Hejos. I think it was Hajos. Hejos.
Ajos.
Ajos.
Because H is silent.
That's right. That's right. Ajos. Ajos, who was killed there. They auctioned off the cassowary. Who's buying it? Who's bidding on that thing? He's a man-eater. He's a killer.
Ajos. Yeah, definitely.
Ajos. A Gulf Coast livestock auction
Hashtag Ajos.
has confirmed that the bird that killed Ajos was sold. The buyer did not want to be known. In a phone conversation with an official from the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, it was confirmed to TV 20 down in Alachua County that there was no permit required to breed the cassowaries in Florida, though. Careful what you're getting into. Since there is no permit required to breed the birds, technically what was originally reported about Ajos breaking the laws.
Hashtag Ajos.
Ajos was not breaking the law. Cost him his life, but he didn't break a law. Quote, Class 2 wildlife can also pose a danger to people. Substantial experience and specific cage requirements do have to be met. They weren't for this particular cassowary, much to Ajos.
So
regret.
If you had to choose one of two movie weapons when you went into this cassowary pit in order to find the cassowary, to defend yourself, and you could choose between, I won't do a lightsaber because that allows the thing to get way too close.
Oh, yeah, that's too close and personal.
So you have to use like a 1980s action movie bazooka, and you've got, extra reloading.
Yeah.
Or the Terminator 2 grenade launcher that Arnold uses.
That was
awesome. He flips around and on the motorcycle.
That thing was pretty badass, wasn't it?
Which one would you choose?
No, I'm doing the rocket launcher. I'm off.
Yeah. You need the bigger explosion, right?
Yeah. I got to make sure that thing's dead. I'm not getting in there with it. I was cracking up. I read the rest of this story they were talking about how, sometimes there's a mandate for certain animals that you have to be caged in a certain way. And then this official weighs in and says, basically, look, what we think happened here was that Ajos was inside the pen with the cassowary with a metal rod trying to grab the cassowary's egg.
Oh, God.
What are you doing, Ajos? What are you doing? So now they've done the investigation. He wasn't just wandering about and the bird decided he's weak. No, it was that he was trying to get the cassowary's egg, and the cassowary went, no, man, that ain't happening. There's even a thought, as you read this story more, and this is really good, and I wish they had video, that the cassowaries teamed up, that he had more than one, and that they think that the birds began to attack simultaneously from behind.
Oh, my God.
Oh. Those cassowaries gave each other the look.
They had a plan of attack.
Let's take him out. One more time with that egg, and that's his ass.
Execute Plan Delta.
It's unbelievable. Quote, throughout the state, you have folks who are involved with these type of livestock or other animal activities where accidents do sometimes occur. While this is incredibly unique and very tragic for the family, it's really not that unusual for farmers and ranchers. That's the quote. You like that quote, don't you?
I do. Also, I've got an image in my head of Ajos over here, right?
Mm.
And he's looking for the egg. So he's the guy who's searching for the egg.
Yeah.
But what does he find? He finds naked Jim McElwain incubating the egg.
Well, he was set up. Those cassowaries are tricky. He got in there and he's like, time to get that cassowary egg. That thing's going to sell for a pretty penny. Where is the egg? And there's just like a cardboard paper mache cutout of an egg, and and he turns around. There they are. They're oh, Jesus. That bird, by the way, the cassowary. Once again, my favorite quote from that story from Rodenheiser, who looked into it, head of the ASO. Yeah, that's considered the most dangerous bird in the world. Okay.
What if naked McElwain was accepted by the cassowaries?
Oh, they liked him.
And he was their leader.
Like the wolf dude. There was that guy that lived with the wolves.
You shouldn't have tried for the egg, said the naked Jim McElwain.
Oh, no. There's no way to segue from this.
Echuka, which means attack. Cassowary.
Yeah, that's what happens the second it happens. Yeah, as soon as he gets done uttering, you should not have tried for the egg. Echuka. The last words you're ever going to hear. Okay, here they come. I should have segued this into that Arkansas hunter that was killed at the end of last month. He shot a deer, came down from the stand to check on said deer, texted his buddy at 6:30 to tell him he had successfully shot a buck. They didn't hear back from him. They began to wonder what happened to him. They went out there and looked for him. They found him dead. The deer had gotten up and gored his ass with the antlers. It's a great story. Stevens isn't sure if Alexander is a licensed hunter and whether or not he immediately left his deer stand or waited before approaching the buck. Muzzle loader season runs from October the 19th through October the 27th, Stevens said. But regardless of the firearm, the commission recommends waiting at least 30 minutes to ensure that a deer you've shot is actually dead. He may not have done that, but evidently that deer was not dead. They found several puncture wounds on him at the hospital. The assumption was that the deer gored him to death with his antlers when he approached to celebrate the kill.
What's a bigger choke job? Alabama losing to Alabama State in football, or a dude with a gun losing to a deer?
Whom he's already shot. Good on you. Good on you, deer. That was well done. He's like, I'm going to wait here and kill this bastard. Shoot me while I'm out
I hope
here.
he said, aha, like a human.
Get you some of this. Get you some of this. Need to reload, do you? Ha! Oh, man. What a way to go. It's like when you see these moose kill people. There's all kinds of footage of the moose killing people.
Jesus.
Get their hands going so quick. I mean, the hooves, they just beat the bejesus.
They're heavy, man.
Oh,
those are blunt force objects.
Massive. I saw one dude getting killed outside like a Jiffy Mart by a moose. He got too close to the moose, came over.
I just wanted eggs.
It's a toughie.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
We only take cases involving real injuries. If you know you aren't hurt, but think you can fool your way into a quick settlement, we're not the firm for you. We encourage our clients to heal up and get better, not sit on the couch and expect a windfall. Third, we don't want clients who are just in it for the money. If the very first thing you think of after getting hurt is calling pound something or other on your cell phone instead of calling 911, we're not the firm for you. Your health should always come first. And finally, we won't blow smoke about a big money outcome just to get your case. Other firms overpromise and underdeliver. Our only promise is that we'll work harder than anyone to get you the best result. Remember, the law firm you have representing you makes all the difference, so don't settle for less. Call Fonville, Lewis, Messer, McConaughey, and let us put our reputation to work for you.
It may not be stomach issues.
For me, it's intense gas, or pain, or diarrhea, sometimes all at once, over and over.
I spent years with the symptoms, but could never figure it out.
No matter what I did, they never went away. So I decided to break it down for my doctor and get really specific about my symptoms.
We discovered that exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, may be the reason for my stomach issues.
EPI is caused by my pancreas. It leads to diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools. The symptoms just don't go away.
But EPI can show up with even one symptom.
The good news? EPI is manageable.
But to get to the right diagnosis, you have to break it down for your doctor and get specific about the severity of your symptoms.
Visit identifyepi.com to learn more and use the symptom checker to help change the conversation with your doctor. Brought to you by AbbVie.
From the notebook of James Naismith to the halls of the Donald L. Tucker Center, the game of basketball has always been a Tallahassee fan favorite. The Seminole basketball team offers you the opportunity to become a bench warmer. You never know when your number's getting called. Fans now have the opportunity to purchase a $200 lower level season ticket and sit in a different seat every game. You could sit courtside as the Noles host North Carolina, Louisville, Virginia, Syracuse, Notre Dame, and Miami, and all for only $200. Purchase your tickets and become a bench warmer. Call 888-FSU-NOLE or visit Seminoles.com today.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Ohio State defensive end and Heisman Trophy contender Chase Young will not play tomorrow against Maryland, apparently because of a possible eligibility issue. Young tweets today he accepted a loan from a family friend last year. That loan was repaid in the summer, and Young is now working with the school and the NCAA to get back on the field. The big game on the schedule tomorrow is number 2 LSU against third-ranked Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Both teams 8-0. ESPN's Ryan McGee.
It's not just about the numbers next to the names. I mean, this is 20 years in now of this game determining who wins the SEC West. That's the power in college football, and it begins and ends with Alabama and LSU. And, you know, the numbers are what they are, and the national championship trophies are what they are, and that's why this game will always be a big deal. And, oh, by the way, it doesn't hurt that, you know, there's 2s and 3s next to their names.
Ryan McGee on the ESPN Daily podcast. Falcons quarterback Matt Ryan will play Sunday against the Saints. He missed the team's last game in Week 8 against the Seahawks with a sprained ankle. Rick Pitino will be the coach of the Greece national team during Olympic qualifying. They'll play in a qualifying tournament in June. Pitino coached the team in the Greek League to a championship earlier this year, but since he's been trying to find an NBA job. He may get to coach Giannis Antetokounmpo during that qualifying tournament. College basketball tonight, 7 Eastern on the SEC Network. Second-ranked Kentucky hosts Eastern Kentucky at Rupp Arena. At the same time on the ACC Network, 4th-ranked Duke hosts Colorado State at Cameron Indoor.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday. Brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachie Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Libations Friday continues, and when you hear that, you know it's about to be wagering time with me and Mama, who, by the way, I have to confess had, as of last night, a 2-game lead on yours truly. What a rally for the ages. Luckily, plenty more football out there. As she was once down, I think, 5 or 6 or something like that, and now has a 2-game lead. But alas, I got one back last night with the Oakland Raiders coming through for me. I also took Oakland in my real card, so I was sweating it out there last night, Tom. I've had some tough luck lately in the NFL. I needed that one.
I would think that qualifies as a game that Phillip Rivers lost, given the way the first half went, and they spotted 10 free points to the Raiders.
He just hasn't played well all year long, and I that's kind of why I took the Raiders and I thought they'd be emotional in that stadium, and they were, and really, frankly, Derek Carr and Josh Jacobs and that crew has played really well on offense, and I just thought that all added up. But, man, it turned out to be a little bit too dicey.
Needed those points off of turnovers.
You really did. You really did. All right, cue it up, and let's get to the wagering.
And now for another edition of the Family Pick. Nick.
Bowden, you're wrong! Mana, the meatloaf!
Take it away, Jeffrey.
All right, Mama, so you had the Chargers, almost pulled it out, nearly pulled it out. Yeah, but so it's a one-game lead now as we go into the weekend for you. So heavy is the head that holds the crown. You got to be very careful now with your selections.
I know. I tell you what, I was smiling, though, at the end of last week. I was like, look at that. I have made a good comeback so far. But I tell you, this week, some of these games, oh, man, I tell you what, there's 3 or 4 that I think are really, really tough. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But I didn't start off well last night, although, I love Phillip Rivers, but he did not do too well last night. I mean, they spotted him 10 points and then almost came back. But like I said, I was thinking if I win this game by 1 point, again, you're not going to be happy.
No, I wouldn't have been. But you didn't. All right, here we go.
I did. So that was probably poetic justice.
Kansas City at Tennessee.
Yes, I've got Kansas City.
Baltimore at Cincinnati.
Baltimore.
Buffalo at Cleveland.
Yeah, I got Buffalo, but I think that could be a tough game.
Probably. Arizona at Tampa Bay.
I'm picking Tampa Bay.
Me too, but I don't feel that good about it.
I know. I'm very, very perplexed about it. But, I mean, I just feel like they're back home after all this time, and they're playing against Arians' old team and everything. Surely to God, if they're ever going to have any reason, as you say, sweet Jesus, can they...
I'm tired of it, too.
Pull out a win.
Tom and I, every week, we're just like, good Christ, this again with this every week. And I never, there they were playing so well on the road at Seattle, and Jameis is playing great, and I'm sitting there watching that game, and yet we know in our heart of hearts we're not going to win that game.
I know. I was like, if they give Seattle the ball back, I mean, it was just the fact that we didn't win the coin toss.
That's
correct. Knew when that happened, I was like, well, darn.
Yeah, I thought the same thing, too. I thought if we won the coin toss, we'd go down and score a touchdown and win the game.
I know. So, see, there you go again. That's just bad luck, I swear. I don't know. There's a cloud over us.
Tends to follow around poorly run organizations,
I'm distraught about it. But anyway, I picked Tampa Bay.
I did, too. The Giants and the Jets? Ugh.
Yeah, what a terrible game, but I took the Giants. I think they're a little better than the Jets.
Detroit at Chicago?
Detroit.
I took Chicago. All right, we got our
thought
first
you would.
one.
They let you down last time,
They're both terrible now. It's gone off the rails for Detroit. It's off the rails for the Bears. I'll just pick the Bears defense at home. I don't know. It's a coin flip game.
It is.
Atlanta at New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Yep. Miami at the Colts.
Colts.
Carolina at Green Bay.
Green Bay.
Rams at Steelers.
Yeah, this is an intriguing game. I'm taking the Rams.
I am too. I thought you might go Steelers there.
I know, and I thought about it, and I could, but I took the
Rams. Minnesota at Dallas.
Now this is a good game.
It's a great game.
I just don't know. I'm very torn about this game but I took Minnesota.
I took the Cowboys. There we go. We got 2 different now. All right. A little bit of something on the line.
A little bit of something.
Yeah, all right. And Seattle at San Francisco on Monday night. Great football game. Here we go.
Absolutely. This is really, really a good game, but I'm taking San Francisco.
Yeah, me too. All right, so 2 different, plus really we had 3 different because I had Oakland last night and you had the Chargers. So, all right, there it is.
Well, so hopefully I can't go too off the rails, even if I lose both of these, but I'm not going to lose both of them.
I think you are. I think you're going to lose both of them.
I'm keeping my fingers crossed that I'm not. So anyway, but I do think both of those games that we have different are very, coin flippy games.
They are coin flippy games that I'm going to win with relative ease.
Well, we'll see.
Love you, Mom. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Have a good weekend.
All right, you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye. I always ask you, you're kind of the pseudo second favorite team of yours is Minnesota, so you see them a lot more than I do. What do you think?
Okay, so typically it's they're a different animal at home than they are on the road. That's my normal take. However, I revised that stance after they went crazy on Detroit because it was indoors on the road.
Mm-hmm.
But the pass rush for the this is the game. It's the pass rush for the Cowboys, and if they get home, then this game is going to get ugly. But if they don't, then it gets interesting. I don't know that means Minnesota wins by default. It's just a bad matchup for the Vikings.
Two teams that are kind of similar. They want to run the ball, protect their quarterback, who can be good if they get the run game going. When they don't get the run game going, neither of those two quarterbacks are very good. But when they do, they're really good.
Well, I think Thielen's still limited or out, one of the two. I didn't check on it late this week. But, yeah, he's had a nagging hammy problem.
I really hope we get a fantastic Monday night game. Like, I want that game to be a fourth quarter doozy where we're sitting there tied at 30 or something. I just have a sense that or 24 or whatever. It's going to be a good football game. And that is a real good test for San Francisco because that defense is fun to watch play football. They've got a lot of pieces there. And, of course, Shanahan is a great play caller. They're average with the pieces on offense, San Francisco is, but they've been really smart. Obviously, they feed the ball to Kittle because he's a matchup nightmare. He's the one guy, he's the one piece they have going into every game that people can't cover. You got to start bracketing that guy. I mean, he is a nightmare. They all know the ball's going to him, and nobody can stop it.
I'd just be interested to see if San Francisco was actually interested in Josh Gordon because he went to Seattle. San Francisco could use that talent a hell of a lot more than Seattle could. Lockett's good, and Metcalf is a good player too. He'll come into his own, but the body type, the explosiveness.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I don't know that San Francisco, they'll have to be able to run the ball consistently to win this game. But apparently, the 49ers are getting both their tackles, and they've got another, it's either the guard or center. So they got three of the five starters in the offensive line coming back. And then Juszczyk, their lead blocker, because they like to use the fullback.
Well, they use the fullback, man. I love their offense. I love it. I watch it, and I think, yes, thank you. Keep doing that.
Well, in fact, that's what it is. Replace the interior lineman. So it's tackles and a fullback. And that's huge because this group defines itself on 3 or 4 dudes who can run the ball.
It's why I started to like what the Jags were doing. They recognized that with Foles out, that what they needed to do, instead of spreading everybody out and doing all that stuff, they needed to run downhill with a big back and have a lead back, and they did it. I really admired that they opted for an entirely different game plan, and that's what ended up getting Fournette going. Now, listen, to varying degrees, they're not a great team, but they had an identity.
Yeah, but they're going to Foles now.
Well, because your boy's he's finally taking a step back. He doesn't look as good as he did. Now that the league
fancy that.
Yeah, imagine that. League's got video, and they're like, okay, well, all right, you like to do this. He's an intriguing prospect. He's an okay player. Minshew's an okay player. He's got some tools. I'm not telling you he's going to be elite, but that was a good run for him to kind of learn. Now step back.
Yeah,
and then adjust to the league adjusting to him. That could be interesting. I don't know, just something to think about. I don't hate him. A lot of these guys I grow to hate because the media falls in love with them 2 seconds after they start a game. I mean, you watch a guy play 6 games and they're thinking that he's going to be a Hall of Famer. We have learned, and you and I have had this conversation, and I think it's true. I'll still stick by the Lamar Jackson thing. We'll see. I'm still not there. You got people writing articles about how the Ravens were the only ones to take a chance on this guy who's going to be a Hall of Famer. Like, whoa. Can we win a playoff game? I have to do the same thing I did with Cleveland.
Now, the talk about him being the best athlete to play quarterback, I think that's fair. That's fair.
Sure, him and Vic, yeah.
I'd say it's him and Cam, just because of Cam's size to add to the speed, because he can take the punishment.
Nobody ever looked like that. Nobody ever will playing quarterback. That was insane.
I'd put Lamar ahead of Vic because they both have incredible arm strength. Vic probably a little bit stronger of an arm, but Lamar is more rangy of an athlete, can see over the line a little bit better than Michael. And in the open field, I actually think Lamar's better in a phone booth than Vic was. Top end speed, I don't know.
Well,
about from 0 to 60,
I think
the acceleration, Vic has it. Yeah. But you're talking about down the field as a runner in tight spaces. That dude, I mean, it's unbelievable what he does.
Well, he certainly showed us what he could do. That day, Jimbo got to see it up close and personal.
Yeah, but pros look the same way. That's what's crazy about it.
No, I know he can run around. I'm saying when you're crafting a long-term plan for a franchise and building a team around a player, which you have to do if you go the route they did. You have to build your offense around his skill set. We've never seen anybody win a Super Bowl doing that, this kind of offense.
Yeah.
Maybe he's the first. And if he is, good. I don't have a problem with that. We've never seen it. And long term, some of that stuff that he does now in the open field is going to go away. He's going to get hit, and he's going to go away.
Well, yeah, I mean, but I think sometimes we limit ourselves into thinking that franchise quarterback means that
20
he has
years.
to be there, 10, 15
He'll
years.
be there for 7, win you a Super Bowl, right?
Well, what if he's there for 5?
Yeah, and you win one.
Well, they sell a bunch of tickets, they sell a bunch of jerseys.
Sure. Yeah, I've thought of that too. You're right. You could go all in on like what you know is going to be a short-term plan because of the skill set, which is going to get eroded by the hits. So now you say, you know what, listen, we're not worried about you 10 years from now. We're going to run your ass all the time because that's what you do.
Like it's a running back in that sense. You know, we'll see about the second contract, but let's get you to the first. I mean, they take him at the end of the first round, and the way that the rookie wage scale is, that doesn't cripple you as an organization financially.
No. And it's funny, people were like, well, they moved back. Man, listen, they made other picks before him. They didn't love him that much.
Right,
they
exactly.
Stumbled into
they
this.
moved back in to go get him.
Yeah.
They said, all right, well, you know,
all right, we'll
slot
do it
him
at the
for
end of the round. Yeah, we'll do it. Yeah, it's funny that way. All right, so 3 games different this week. I won the one last night. Now I got the Bears and the Lions. I don't want to even watch that game. I won't watch that game, but I will watch Cowboys-Vikings. All right, that should be fun. Chef Cameron Show 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Is always covered. 2475 Appalachia Parkway, right next to Earth Fair.
As the leaves are falling, so are the DeWalt prices at Cornerstone Tool and Fastener. The Build Your Own DeWalt Kit promotion is back. Buy 2 select bare tools and get a DeWalt starter kit at no charge. That's 2 5-amp-hour batteries and charger. And there's more. Purchase a DeWalt drill and impact kit and get an additional 5-amp-hour battery and a free bare tool. Choose from impacts, drills, grinders, and more. That's 3 tools and 3 5-amp-hour batteries exclusively at Cornerstone. 1110 Stuckey Ave and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Tallahassee location open on Saturdays from 8 a.m. until noon.
Come visit the new and exciting Hangar 38. This amazing place is for everyone listening right now. Practice your bowling skills, compete, and have fun. Whether you're a newbie, an all-star, or a beer frame champion, no matter how you roll, you'll find the best place to bowl is at Hangar 38. Hangar 38 is home to over 75 arcade games, so they're sure to have something for everyone. Zeppelin's at Hangar 38 is a premier, full-service restaurant and sports bar, and it's also your place for birthday parties and company outings. Tallahassee, what are you waiting for? Come on out to Zeppelin's Hangar 38, 6668 Thomasville Road behind Walgreens.
GT Electric is Tallahassee's premier state-certified electrical contractor. Locally owned and operated for over 20 years, GT Electric offers a variety of electrical services for residential, commercial, and industrial fields, including upgrades, repairs, replacements, and installation. GT Electric also sells and services power generators for commercial buildings, homes, and construction job sites. Call them today at 421-9002. That's 421-9002. Or stop by gtelectricfl.com.
The Greater Tallahassee Chamber of Commerce would like to recognize their newest members.
Hi, I'm Corey Melton, the Vice President of Membership, and I'm proud on behalf of the Chamber to welcome our newest members from October. Affiliated Engineers Southeast, Avcon, Brett Thompson Financial Group of Raymond James, Capital City Consulting, Capital Management Group, Children's Home Society of Florida, Daniel Taylor Consulting, DeNovo Agency, Doctors Diet Program of Florida, Equality Florida, Franklin's HVAC, Eluso, Noli Data Science, Leon Screening and Repair, Lisa's Paint and Body Shop, Ma's Diner, Massage Green Spa, Monteballo and Associates, Pax Properties, Phipps Reporting, Rally Point Financial, Rise Up Studio Architecture, Sage Restaurant, Shermer Pecans, Serve Pro of Central Tallahassee, Smith, Bryan and Myers, Sweet Blue, Tallahassee Classical School, the Advocacy Group at Cardenas Partners, United Partners for Human Services, Volunteer Florida, and the Weingartner Law Firm.
The Chamber is proud to support over 1,400 local businesses representing over 60,000 employees. For information on how your business can be a part of the Greater Tallahassee Chamber of Commerce, contact Corey Melton at 850-521-3104.
The Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener. Big store pricing with local service. Online at ctf.nu.
Wrapping it up, Libations Friday. All right. Now, tomorrow, remember, at noon, the Noles are going to play Boston College. Most likely lose that game. Sorry, couldn't help myself.
We're going to name a new coach on Monday.
Yeah.
Come on, 3-0 Dale. 3-0
I would love it, yes.
Because then it's 4-0 Dell, and then we have Barnett coach as the head man for the Florida game, so Odell can be 4-0 Dell forevermore.
So you temporarily hire Harlan Barnett for the Florida game.
Yes, I do.
Go get him, everybody.
I elevate him for Florida week, and I let Odell return to...
Serious note, we talked about it very briefly in the 3 o'clock hour. But for those who missed it, and I did dismiss the idea that Deion Sanders would be a candidate, I did not dismiss this idea that if Odell Higgins, much like Ed Orgeron, were to win out, would you consider it? I mean, it's brought up a lot.
If he wins out...
beats Florida at Florida.
We're not going to have Marvin Wilson for that game.
Hold on a second. Now, that's all the more amazing, right? I'm saying if that happens, if somehow they win out, would you consider it?
I think you would have to.
I think you would, too.
Because that's so preposterous.
It is absurd, and it speaks to grand inspiration that only this guy can seem to provide.
I think if Odell was 5-0 Dell, right, if that's what he became, I think there wouldn't be a dry eye in Tallahassee. I don't think there'd be a dry eye in that locker room, players and coaches alike. I think it would just be one big hug fest. And Odell looks like he's a good hug giver, doesn't he?
Oh, I'm sure. He's a bear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'll root for it. I'm here for all that. That'd be hilarious. It'd be simply amazing. But, that I wouldn't dismiss. I do dismiss Deion, but I'm not dismissing Odell.
If I was Florida State, I'd say, all right, $5. This is how we're going to raise money for the things we need. Odell stands at the 50. 5 and Odell. It's the Monday after the Florida game. $5 from 9 to 5. You can come in, spend $5, and give Odell a big hug. He'll give you a big hug, and there you go. Noles, unity. We need the money.
That's a lot of hugging, man. That
is a lot of hugging.
That is
some sanitizer after Odell.
I was gonna say you're gonna make Odell pretty sick. Hey, should note this too because it's pretty cool. I don't know if you saw that they're doing this, but my friends at Madison Social have gotten together with the folks at Proof, and they have the 85 Odell shirts that are really cool. All gas, no brakes. You see it there. It's going to be on sale with a Proof, and you get it with a Proof 850 on November the 16th. They're going to ship it to you. You have until that time.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Right.
You got all that time. So I just think that's cool because Odell deserves the.
I'll tell you what. I'm going to get minorly choked up tomorrow if we beat BC without Marvin Wilson. We'll see if Durden plays and Odell gets that job done with the week that these guys have had. Are you at the last 3 years that these guys have had?
They're also doing, Tom, so you should know. And
another promotion.
Well, they're also doing, instead of mimosas, they're doing Powerade mimosas.
Oh, well, Odell cares deeply
about that. Yes. So they're doing Powerade mimosas at Madison Social as well. So that's pretty cool. I'd actually like to try one of those. All of that said, in terms of getting emotional for Odell, you can see a scenario where Florida State leaves it all on the field. They're outmanned because they're thin on the defensive line. They're facing two really stout backs. They're doing everything they can in cold weather. Everything looks bleak, and they win it 30-27 last second. Well, I don't want to paint a scenario where we have to kick a field goal, but all right, they're down 27-23, score a touchdown.
Yep.
Win the game, and they all pick Odell up. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, this fires me up. This inspires me what Madison Social is doing.
Okay.
So tomorrow at Hangar 38, if Odell becomes 3-0,
yeah,
first 5 people to come up to me, not the tab
You're
they
going to
give
give
us.
hugs? You're going to give hugs?
Nope. Well, I could do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to give them an 850 if you're of age.
Okay.
You're of age.
All right.
I'll get you an 850 on me, not the tab they give us, out of my own pocket.
Okay. I like it.
I'll be fired up.
Yeah, I'm going to take you up on that. I want one. I'll be
You'll be the first person.
Hey, Tom, I'm right here.
I'm person number 1.
I'm person number 1. I'd like my 850, please.
You want your 850 Dell?
Yeah, I do. I'll hold it aloft. We'll snap a photo.
Yeah.
Good times.
If we do it, 5 people.
Well, I was robbed of the opportunity for a fun social media post when I went to Virginia. There we were on the cusp of winning. I was there in attendance.
We were supposed to
on the 50.
FaceTime.
We were going to. I had my camera ready to roll. We were about to punch it in. I said, okay, this is going to be awesome. I told my buddy Eric, who I was with, I said, here we go. Hey, you're going to be on camera, buddy. Get used to it. I was going to sit right there in the stands with the field behind me. I was going to hold it up. I was like, Tom, I'm here. Let's do it. I'm celebrating.
The Jefferson Eps is ours.
We did it. I'm bringing it home
Screw
tonight,
Jefferson.
baby.
Go Eps.
There we go. Yeah, I was robbed of that, and I was angered by it.
Louisiana purchased nothing.
That moment had to have been fun. We're getting all of this for that? We are. I know I've said that I'm somewhat of an isolationist, but we really cannot turn this down. I agree. Thomas, I agree.
They are desperate, aren't they?
By the way, so what do we have coming up tonight as we sign off and head to the weekend? And just a reminder, noon tomorrow, Hangar 38 will be there. Game watch party. Have your kids come out, enjoy the day, get geared up for that Alabama-LSU game. Let's admit that's what we're all excited
So
about.
tonight it's Rattler Review up next.
Rory Chirac, my man. Boy, the Rattlers have been good.
Ever closer to that November 23rd clash down in Orlando.
I'm pumped about that, yes.
High school, we may be picking up some playoff games next week. We don't have high school this week, but the regular season is over there. Once again, thanks to our friends at Barano Heating and Air Conditioning for supporting high school football on 97.9 ESPN Radio all season long. But we may be picking up the playoffs next week. We'll see what the results say.
By the way, I want you to know I got a call from one of my old teammates back in the day. Apparently, we're having a big get-together to celebrate what was previously the only undefeated team in Lakewood High School football history, but now my Spartans undefeated in the state playoffs. They became the second team, and they had a bye week. They got a chance to win state. And apparently we're supposed to gather. I don't know.
It's a 30th anniversary?
1989. Yeah. So I'm supposed to go down there and be part of the celebration.
When is that?
I don't know. I haven't called him back yet. It's going to be I've got to call Reggie back. He called me yesterday, left a message. It's going to be before the game that they're playing. And I think we're supposed to, just certainly be there for support.
See, I'm pulling up a traditional gift for a 30th wedding anniversary. So a 30th anniversary for you guys still is a pearl. So there you go.
You're going to get me a pearl?
No,
you're not.
The people at that
They're
school
gonna give
need
me
to get
a
you.
pearl.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
I
need to
see.
get a pearl.
Right. I'm going to go down to St. Pete and get my pearl.
They should give you just a pearl-looking bowling ball.
I would love that.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Then I'll say yes to going.
Is this like Stu Gotson going to visit whatever the hell?
Yeah,
Dakota?
whatever that was, yeah. Good work out of you. Good work, Matthew. Rory Chirac, my man. He's up next with Rattler Review. Should be good. We may be picking up high school football. Who knows?
Next week. Not tonight.
Not tonight at all. Not doing that. But we know Rory's coming up next.
That's correct.
That is happening. That's
Picked
happening
up.
for sure. Looking forward to it.
Put it down.
It's going to kick ass. See you guys tomorrow. Be well, everybody.